guys, it's me, 𝗥xy Rainbow.
And I'm Renata from the 𝗍𝗍.
And welcome back to episode 20 of the 𝗫𝗍𝘆 podcast. Hey, boop, boop, boop. Fireworks everywhere, explosions. Very exciting. This is an important number. So
Milestone.
Yes, I'm excited for us to be at episode 20, right as the season is kicking off. I'm glad to be joined here with Renata once again. Thank you to Elliot for, co-hosting last week. We appreciate it, but I'm glad to see my girl back here.
I'm glad to
And
be back. Oh, and yes, definitely. Thank you to Elliot. That was a really interesting conversation you guys had. I regret that I couldn't have been part of it. But all the stuff about songwriting and how all that stuff
yeah,
works behind the scenes, I was fascinated by that.
I know a lot of that stuff I never would even think about. So very glad to have him. Very glad to have you. And we have a fun, exciting little episode with a lot of stuff to talk about. We do have ESC 250 results. We held off on going over it until I had Renata here with me so we could go over where our placements, landed in the whole lineup of ESC 250 and also who ended up winning, stuff like that. We are also going to go over more in depth with Norway's national selection Melodi Grand Prix. And we are also going to go over the craziness that is going on over in Croatia with their national selection because those songs dropped as well. So we've got a fun, exciting episode. We are getting jam-packed with these national selection news. So, without further ado, let's get right into this. But before we get into that, we want to thank our patrons. These are people who went over to patreon.com/𝗫𝗍𝘆 and subscribed over there to support the podcast. And if you would like to subscribe and support the podcast, you get full length, every single episode, full length video, ad-free, early release on Thursdays, the day before everybody else gets them, the day before everybody else gets to hear all the juicy tea and what's going on in Eurovision news. You get that over on Patreon. And you also get a shout out at the beginning of the episode, like the following people. So a shout out to Meredith, Danielle, 𝗲𝗍𝘆, Alistair, Russell, Shoegazer, Daniel, Kathleen, Suniva, Norbert, Jackson, Henny, and our newest subscriber.
Oh, a new person. Yay. Thank you.
Yes! Shout out to Andrew.
Hi. Love you, Andrew. Thank you.
Yes. We love you. We love everyone of you guys who subscribed over Patreon. And we also love every one of you guys that have been listening on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere. And if you love the podcast, make sure you like to leave a comment, like, follow, subscribe, rate, all the things that you do on all the places. Just, all that helps monumentally. So thank you to everyone. Thank you everyone for listening. And without further ado, let's get right into the episode. All right. So first big piece of news that we have going on is the ESC 250. So 2 episodes ago, we gave our own personal votes in the ESC 250, despite the fact that we were a little bit late, so we were not able to get our actual votes in. But we gave our, if we were, keeping up with things on time, our votes. And the results came out. So if you do not know how this works, basically, or how ESC 250 works, is basically it's like a whole long day's process where there is a radio that is playing each song from 250 all the way up to the winner at number 1. So it's a really fun day of just kind of like following along, listening in on the radio and like seeing, oh, who's coming up, who's next. And this year was a pretty exciting year, I gotta say, because we had a new winner. We're not gonna go through obviously all 250. That's insane. We will leave the links in the description if you want to see the full results on songfestival.be, which is the people who put on the official ESC 250. Because I gotta say, there's a fake one out there, but fake. We're covering the real deal. These are the real bitches that have been doing this for years. So the real exciting news, right, is the new winner. So It's the winner was also in both of our ESC 250 votes. It was also our winner of last year, which was 𝗤𝗄𝗄 by 𝗤𝗂, which is so exciting.
Yes. And this was my winner for ESC 250. So I actually picked the winner, which let me tell you guys, never ever happens with anything that it involves rankings. It is really
Yeah,
uncommon that my favorite wins a national final. Like I think one of the first times it ever even happened was with Theodore Andre. I never pick the winners. I never pick the winners. It's good I'm
oh
not
my
a betting
God.
man because I would never ever win. But I did pick this one right with 𝗤𝗄𝗄. This
Which
was
is,
genuinely my winner.
yeah, which is kind of, kind of crazy because that's out of all Eurovision entries, you pick the winner. Out of
Hmm.
all, however many there are.
It means I have basic taste, I guess, because everyone else agreed with me.
Well, and then the other crazy aspect of it is, of course, so with the history of ESC 250, Loreen had won ESC 250 since her win in 2012. She won it every single year up until last year when 𝗏𝗏 dethroned 𝗡aphoria. But this year was a little bit unique because Loreen was back in it with a new song, and we were kind of, wanting to see, oh, a lot of times, like, songs, they're number one, or they're high up because it's that year, but
Mhm.
then they drop. And that's what happened. 𝗏𝗏 did drop down to fourth place, but still an amazing result. But 𝗡aphoria came third, and then Tattoo came second, which I was kind of actually like kind of surprised by. I don't know why, but like I don't know. I just feel like the general consensus was most people like 𝗡aphoria still more than Tattoo. So I almost thought 𝗡aphoria would be back up.
Same.
And so I was actually shocked for it to be so close with Tattoo coming second, and there was a difference of about 3,000 votes, which or 3,000 points, I should say,
Mhm.
which is a good amount, but it's still pretty close. Not as close as 𝗡aphoria and 𝗏𝗏, which literally had a difference of, I'm looking at maybe 30 points.
Wow. Oh, it was a squeaker.
Yeah. Yeah. 𝗡aphoria had 17,986 and 𝗏𝗏 had 17,913. That's wild.
Yeah.
That is wild. But it's exciting because I feel like ESC 250 is getting to be exciting again. Every single
Hmm.
year it was 𝗡aphoria. And, who knows if 𝗤𝗄𝗄 is going to like have that same staying power or whatever. I don't know if it will, but it's exciting for us to have like, I don't know, like finally be back to being like, we actually don't know who's going to win. So,
Yeah, definitely. And I personally don't expect 𝗤𝗄𝗄 to be the winner next year. I wouldn't be surprised if like 𝗡aphoria actually won again next year
mhm.
and then everything else filed in behind her. But I mean, a lot of things can happen. I think a lot of what did happen here was you had people who were putting Loreen songs at 10 and 12. A lot of people
Mhm.
probably did that. And you probably had a lot of people that gave, a really high level points for her. And then, of course, you had 𝗤𝗏𝗄's fans voting for him, which they do. Obviously, I mean, they did it at the live, like when the show happened, they voted for him. But he won all these other fan contests in Finland as well. So, like, if you tell 𝗤𝗏𝗄 fans, like, hey, there's a voting contest and he's in it, like, they are going to vote for him.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, it was definitely like a battle between those two. Well, what was the difference between first and second place votes wise?
It was about 3,000 points.
Oh, that was 3,000. That was
Yeah, yeah.
3,000.
Yeah, because
Oh, and
Katia had 22,000 and she had 19.
that's so
So
many points. Oh my
it
God. A
is.
lot of people, and they were because they also had a split contest where there was like two ESC 250s happening. And then people like
Yeah,
us who just like forgot to vote.
I
So they
know.
still
Yeah.
had a lot of votes.
Yeah, and I will say, like, in regards to people, because there's like always that, controversy, and people want to battle Loreen and Katia against each other, and like I love them both. And so I just feel like that's
Mhm.
just, like, why can't we just be fans of both? Like, it doesn't have to be a battle, it doesn't have to be a contest in that way. But it's like people being like, oh, of course Katia fans mass voted. bitch, yeah, they're fans. He's their favorite. It's a fucking fan vote contest. What do you mean? That's the whole point. It's not even like it's not comparable to like Spanish fans when they mass vote all Spanish songs. I know every single one of your favorite entries is not a Spanish song, but they're obviously only voting for Spain. We actually saw it this year when a lot of Israeli songs and were in this top that had never been in that top before. And it was pretty obvious that people had just kind of voted for one singular country because they wanted to make a statement. It's like not even comparable to that. This is one person. There wasn't a mass of Finnish songs that were
Mm-mm,
in the
no.
top. It was just 𝗥𝗏𝘅 because that's their fave. Like,
Well, and I really have always disliked the pitting of the two against each other because I liked both songs. I love Loreen. There's literally a video of me like sobbing all over Loreen as I like tell
yeah.
her how amazing she is. Like I think she's great, and like I have opinions on that song in particular, but I still like it. And I think she's great, and I've always been bothered by that like one or the other mentality because I don't feel like a lot of people even feel that way, that it is one or the other. They certainly don't. They were like very
Yeah.
friendly with each other. But there was a little bit of like cancellation of people on Twitter happening over
Mm,
a video. I don't know if you saw this at all, but there was, well, obviously everybody, we're all like reactor people. Like we're all
yeah.
obsessed with filming ourselves reacting to
Oh,
things.
yeah.
And there was a group of girls who are wonderful people, lovely girls. And
Yeah.
they posted a video of them reacting to like who was going to be the winner. And they're excited when they announced that Tattoo came second. They get excited because it means that 𝗤𝗤𝗄 won 250. And people were being so rude and mean and sexist and all these gross
Yeah.
things to them, about calling them like Loreen haters and all this stuff. And it's like they weren't, it wasn't that they were celebrating that, because Loreen also didn't even lose. She got second and third place. Like
Yeah.
she had
She's
two
the
of the,
undisputed queen of Eurovision. Like, come on.
yes, they weren't saying death to Loreen when her songs came on. They were simply cheering because the song that they wanted to win had won. And
Yeah.
it literally wasn't about Loreen. It was about 𝗤𝗤𝗄 for them. And I couldn't believe it. So justice to the 𝗤𝗤𝗄 lover reaction girls. I'm not going to call out their names because I don't want to like necessarily draw more attention to them individually. Although I don't think that any of our wonderful listeners would ever go attacking these
Yeah.
sweet people. But yeah, that just bothered me a little bit. And I'm getting very sick of the like Loreen versus 𝗤𝗏𝘅 fan
Yeah.
war thing because it's just like it's so 5 months ago, you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and those girls, those are our friends.
Yeah.
Like I've spent so much personal time with them at like multiple Eurovisions and everything. They are literally some of the nicest people in this fandom. So I'm just like, oh my God, like now you're trying to make like damn, I will defend them till the day I die. Well, maybe not necessarily, but like who knows what but you know, it's like damn, like these are actually some really positive, kind people in the fandom. But you know, bitches just be mad for no like for
Hmm.
everything. Like
Yeah.
it is what it is. But I did do a side by side, or I did like a little, you know, you like the way I did this little
I
table
like the
right
way
here?
that you did this table. Yeah, it's so easy to read.
Yes, but I went through and organized our votes, and then in the bullet point under it is where it actually ended up placing. So there's actually I was kind of, you know, shook. And then I also did like at the very bottom, it has how many came in the top 50 or 250 of ours actually made it into the top 250. So for me, some of the songs of mine that didn't make it in the top ESC 250 because they released the entire list. So any song that received even one vote is on this list. Um, some of the songs of mine that did not make it in was Old Man Fiddle,
Mm.
alas. Kind of expected, came 962nd. And fun fact, I had that in fourth place. And the highest placement that was in there was fifth place, which means, you know, I'm the biggest Old Man Fiddle fan. That's what that means.
Amazing.
Um, and then yeah, another song that I was actually shocked did not make it into the top 250 was that 𝗏𝗏𝘅𝘆 𝗏𝗏𝘆𝘆 whatever, that Monaco song, that one, Ona Dula Ona Bunui. That's a great song, and that's a winner. I don't understand how that couldn't have made it into the top 250. That's an amazing song. Gagged me a little. Who were some of your bitches that didn't make it in?
Well, I mean, I guess we can start with the one that I knew wasn't going to make it in, but I put in my 10-point slot, which was Vampires Are Alive, which
Mhm.
came 992nd. So it actually came lower than Old Man Fiddle.
I know, that
Um,
shocked me.
I wonder honestly, like where I would have been. I think I probably would have been like I doubt anyone gave them 12.
No, I think you were the top.
I mean, I don't doubt that I'm probably the biggest fan of the Vampires Are Alive song. I mean, it's really not like a beloved entry. Clearly, barely
It's
anyone gave it
shocking because
points.
Old Man Fiddle is way older. Like I would actually expect way more people to know, at least know Vampires Are Alive, and like maybe give it a few votes. I'm shocked Old Man Fiddle made it higher, to be honest.
Yeah, I was surprised that Say Na 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 didn't make it in. It was 503, which is actually lower than Yodel It, which is
Yeah.
436. And like Say Na 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 is literally San Marino's best entry ever placement
Yeah.
wise.
Yeah.
So that was kind of surprising to me. And then the other one I had that didn't make it was Where I Am from Denmark, which I mean, I guess it's not like a fan favorite or anything, but 410 is pretty low.
Yeah. I'm actually shocked that Yodel It came 436 because that is like I feel like that's an iconic Eurovision entry. I know
Yeah.
people don't love it, but that one's iconic. I feel like there's got to be stands out there. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
like I'm
I
just
don't
shocked
shut
that
up
that
about it.
one. Yeah, I'm just shocked that one got so low. Um, the other one for me that didn't make it into the top 250 was 𝗤𝗏𝘆, which got 774th. So, bitches ain't got no taste, I guess. Uh,
Apparently. Although, I mean, I feel like 6 out of 10 and 7 out of 10 being a shared top taste, like that's pretty good.
It definitely is. Like, I mean, I had Haide da Ludu Yemo, and that came 113th, which for a song that was like an older Eurovision song, I love to see that always in the list. Um, yeah, and then my winner 1970 or 1974, 1944. My winner 1944 came in 17th. And guess what, bitches? She is beating that bitch Sergey Lazarev every year in ESC 250. And
So
I know
good.
y'all bitches is mad, but obviously well deserved. I'm kind of gagged that that man even shows up on these lists, but you know.
Well, there also seemed to be a little bit of tactical voting in that as well, because there were some Russian songs showing up in there, and I'm like, who
I know,
listens to
yeah.
that song? Because there were also some songs, I don't remember which one it was, but there was a song that went up by like, maybe it was an Israeli entry, like 200 spots.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when you know bitches is mass voting.
Right.
Cause
Nobody just decides that they like a song from 1987 that much in mass. It doesn't
yeah,
happen.
the only reason that could maybe make sense is like maybe one of them dies and like they come back on your radar or something. But
Maybe.
otherwise, like ain't nobody just doing all that. The Voice, that song that you didn't even fucking know, 134. Go get on it. We gotta have
Yeah.
one year where we do like a deep dive in old Finnish songs and a deep dive into or even well, there's actually not as many old Polish songs. There's a couple though.
No.
I was gonna say for you, but Irish, maybe that's what we'll do over the summer when we don't have like Eurovision news, is we can do
Oh,
some like
yeah.
deep dives into other years. I think that'd be fun.
That'd be fun. A little bit of retro Eurovision.
Yeah.
Because I don't even really know much about all the old stuff, so that could be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Looking at my results to your results, it is kind of funny because like yours are pretty well spaced out. So you've got like
Mm-hmm.
1, 17, 4, but then you've got a couple that are in the 100s and the 300s, 700s, 900s. Mine are literally 1, 992, 32, 436, 127, 25, 38, 503, 410, or 14. So it's like either they're coming in the top 40 songs or they're like literally so far off of the map that they're in the 400s.
Yeah, that's actually crazy looking at this because the only one so 6 out of 10 of yours came in the top 250. Only one of those was in the hundreds. Every other one was like, yeah, top 40. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, it actually looking at it, it's really weird. But the ones that did do well were like 𝗤𝗍𝘆, like that makes sense. Dancing Lascia Tumbai, Spirit in the Sky, Rhythm Inside. I was happy to see Rhythm Inside get 32, actually. I think a lot more people enjoy that song than I realized before. I always
Oh
thought that
yeah.
I always felt like I was the only person who was like
Really?
watching Rhythm Inside randomly. Like, but apparently I'm not. A lot of other people like it, which is
Yeah.
really cool. Because to me,
That's
that's their best entry from Belt to
yeah,
Vancouver.
that's touted as one of the best entries, I feel like, of Eurovision. Like people talk about that one like it won almost.
Maybe it should have. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm actually shocked Dancing Lascia Tumbai only came 38. To me,
It's kind
that's
of low.
that's like Eurovision. Like that's
Yeah.
like top 20. But very fun. I love stuff like this. I love a fan contest that has so much that gets so much attention too because like what makes ESC 250 not like other ones is because there's just so many people that participate in this where it really is a good representation of kind of the fandom and their views and their favorites and that's always interesting to see every single year. And it's kind of wild how much it changes year by year. But even my own personal votes change every single year. Like there's just certain songs you hyperfixate on one year, and they could be from 1970, and you just
Mhm.
suddenly fall in love with it one day, and it's fun how that works. But yeah,
Yeah, this was cool. Unfortunately, I didn't follow it as it was happening on the day because I was doing other stuff that was a little bit more important. I know it's hard for Eurofans to imagine something more important than ESC 250. But I was dealing with some family stuff that I just couldn't be on my phone tweeting about the
yeah.
countdown. So it was really nice to like at least find out, who won. That was like, oh, because I was having a really rough day that day, but it was like, yes, my winner won the contest.
Aw,
Yes. Yeah, that was
yay.
really good for me.
Yeah. Also, I want to say EA got top 10. That's
Good.
amazing.
Good. Maybe that
It
was some Spanish mass voting happening there, but I mean,
maybe,
I liked
yeah.
that song a lot
I love
personally.
that
So
one. Yeah. Oh, well, can't wait for next year. It's so wild. Who's gonna be the maybe there's gonna be someone this year that stands out and really ends up, winning next year.
I mean, it's possible. And there is always the recency bias with this particular contest. Obviously, it,
Mm-mm.
it wasn't true for like a decade regarding the winner, the top spot, but
Mm.
there's 250 other spots that these songs
Yeah.
can go into. Um,
Yeah.
so I expect actually that maybe like 𝗤𝗏𝗏 will do a little bit of Dancing Lascia Tumbai action where it just kind of maybe steadily over time, maybe 5 years from now, it's not going to be hitting the
Hmm.
top 10 or something. Um, as we get more songs and as the seal was broken on Loreen's decade of winning. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, it's just going to be, I think, more exciting as we go
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah, for sure. Well, speaking of exciting, girl, oh my God, this national selection. So, I did touch on my thoughts on some of the songs, not all of them, in our last episode with Elliot, but I even mentioned in that episode, I was like, I need to know your thoughts on these songs from Norway, because these songs for MGP dropped, and girl, my timeline has not been the same since. Truly.
Oh my God. I literally just want to break my phone sometimes. Like I started unfollowing people over Norway. That's the how.
Really?
Yeah, there were some people who were just being so goddamn annoying that I was like, I'm done. I'm done. Don't want to see you anymore. You're pissing me
Yeah.
off. And I feel stupid about that, but like, I don't
No.
know.
Well, you're not like me too, because like I basically mass unfollowed almost every single Eurovision related account, like a fan account on my Twitter, and I pretty much only follow people I actually speak to
Mm,
regularly, like in DMs, and like even most of the time people I've met in real life. Pretty much. I like kind of it's like a role now for me. I like do not follow other accounts just because I had bad days on Twitter and I saw a lot of bitches that followed me and had a lot to say. And their hate tweets about me were popping up on the timeline because I followed them.
Oh God, yeah. I haven't had it that bad yet. Although I did do one of those like whatever, who am I to you things recently. And the options that I chose were like bestie, like bad
Mm.
bitch. And one of the ones that I chose was hate follow, just because I thought it was funny to just include hate follow. This was naive, but I didn't think that anyone would actually click on it. One of the first 5 votes was hate follow.
It was me.
Was it?
No, no, no.
Oh, because I was like, okay, if you hate me, but I popped up in your feed and you clicked on my poll within minutes of me posting it,
You a fan.
I maybe you want to hate fuck me. Maybe that's what this is, because why are you so obsessed with me?
Oh my God. Yeah, I refuse to do any of those like anonymous things anymore. I'm like, I don't need to hear that. I know people hate me.
Yeah, I'm gonna reconsider next time. I think maybe I'm gonna have a new rule where only positive reactions can be chosen, and if they want
I
to
know.
be negative, they can do it with their words in the comment section.
Yeah, that's why I did the one where I was like, "Oh, well this can't go bad." It's like, "Oh, what was it like who do you associate with me or whatever?" Or like it was
Yeah,
like something like that, like relationship wise though, and I was like, that's fun. Only fun things can come from that.
yeah.
But anyways,
Speaking of
so
fun,
speaking of fun, speaking of controversy, we've got Norway. So one fun thing that they did was that they released all the songs at once this year, which is
yeah,
different. Instead of us having to wait until like the day before the semi to get them or whatever, we just got them all at once. I love that. I feel like it keeps the discussion like just like exciting and everybody can pick their favorites and you have people to root for and you can pick your favorites from each semi, whatever. So so we could just go through these songs because I feel like this selection overall to me is really good. I feel like there's a lot of decent songs in here and it's got like diversity and there's a lot of songs I don't like, but to me that makes a diverse selection. I want some to hate,
hmm,
you know?
yeah,
So yeah. So the first big name, one of the two Eurovision returnees in this entire lineup is Margaret Berger with her song Oblivion. Now she represented Norway back in 2013 with her song I Feed You My Love. And for me, this one don't hit. I said this
mm-mm.
in the last one. It just doesn't hit. It's not as good as I Feed You My Love.
Yeah. This one didn't do anything for me either. Like I thought it was fine. I thought the beat was okay. If I was driving in the car and it came on my recommended, after the playlist ends, it starts feeding you other songs that ain't on the playlist, and it came
Mm,
on, I wouldn't necessarily like take my eye off the road to skip it.
hmm.
But it didn't do anything for me. It was kind of forgettable.
Yeah, like it feels like it builds, it's building somewhere, tell me how, or oblivion, and then it's just like, I don't know. The instrumental doesn't have that like, oh my God, and I feed you my love. Those like insane that instrumental is crazy. Like that one still holds up to this day. It still feels modern when you listen to it. And this one already somehow feels dated. Like,
Mm.
how's that work? Um, we've got Myra with her song Heart on Fire. To me, this sounded like royalty-free music, but like the good kind. that you save. You say, oh, you know what? Actually, because most royalty-free music sucks, and especially ones with lyrics, let me tell you. So you
Yeah.
hear that one and you're like, oh wait, this is kind of, oh, feel it, da-na-na-na-na, hi-ya. And you're like, okay, this look kind of, I see it. It's cute. It's not great. It's generic AF, but it's cute.
Yeah, this was very H&M soundtrack. Like it's not offensive in any way.
Mm.
Anybody could tolerate this song, but there's a difference between tolerating something and liking something. And it's cute enough, but it was kind of a bread sandwich for me. Just like, yeah, there's something there, but there's just nothing that's satisfying the taste buds, really.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know too much about that right now.
Oh, don't get me started.
Sorry for the low blow. Had to bring it there. So then we also had Ingrid Jasmine with her song Aya. This one's freaky to me. There's something uncanny valley about this song in the fact
Mm,
that it is literally Ella from 𝗬𝗏𝘆𝘆. It like to the point where the actual singer looks like her too. I don't know if you saw a
yeah.
picture of her. She looks like her with that long, like medium brown hair, middle part, like wavy. I'm like, girl, this is 𝗬𝗏𝘆𝘆. And it sounds and even the name is so close. You change one letter.
Oh my
Like
God, you're right.
it's
I
so
had the
weird.
same exact reaction. I was like, "Oh, this sounds like Ella," but it also doesn't. Like it's more
Yeah.
powerful than Ella was, and I
Mm.
really liked Ella, but this is
Yeah.
I thought pretty nice
This is
actually.
great.
Yeah, I really liked it. I liked it from the very beginning. It didn't ever lose me. Even after I was like, "Oh, this is like Ella." I was like, "But that's actually okay because I like that song and it's not like a carbon copy of, although it
Yeah.
is a bit weird that she looks so much like her because I thought the same thing when I saw the picture. I was like, "Oh, kind of funny."
Yeah.
Um don't know what that's all about, but I thought this one was good. I'm into this one.
Yeah. Also, that freaking, I don't know what that instrumental is, but it sounds like a didgeridoo to me in the very beginning. Like,
Yeah, I wasn't sure what that was either.
so
Bassoon
cool.
or
It's so cool. It did not need the slow-mo dance break though. Like, enough. Enough. And I like a dance break. I don't mind a dance break. This was the slow-mo dance break. This was the like
yeah,
the
it was weird. It
exact
was like short too. Because I was
it
like, is this
was
a dance
really
break?
short.
But then it
I'm like,
ended.
yeah, what's she gonna do in the 10 seconds?
My fucking dog just pissed on the carpet right in front of me. I've
She
got to
said,
clean that up.
how about I just piss on the floor?
I don't fucking believe that. That's what the people who were watching on Patreon saw me put my head in my hand because I'm watching my dog piss on the fucking carpet.
Oh my God. All right, so next up we had a Goth Minister with their song We Come Alive. I love this. I'm sorry. I
Oh,
love
really?
this. Yes,
Oh, oh.
I love his voice. It's kind of campy. It's like, a little cheesy. The lyrics are very obvious, like almost like, ooh, watch out for us. We're scary. We come alive. I don't know. I feel like I liked it. I like the album art with the little demon coming from behind him. It kind of sold it for me. I like this.
This is one of those times where it's like, it's so funny with me and you because there's a lot of times where we are just totally like, we agree, we think it's great. And then there's other times like this where I'm like, I literally don't ever want to hear this song again. And you're like, I liked it. And it happens the other way around too, where I like stuff and you're like, ew. Um, I did not like this one. Right off the bat, the "We Come Alive" title, it just made me think of Vampires Are Alive, which I love,
Hmm.
and to
Uh-huh.
have something that totally is like what I don't like at all. It's like also at the beginning of Vampires Are Alive, he goes, "Vampires in Helsinki, come alive." So it was just like a little bit too on the nose for me with that. But that aside,
Hmm.
I mean the song itself, I just wasn't feeling this.
That's fair. And this is not the only white face goth kind of guy that's in this selection. We'll get
Weird,
to the other
right?
one a little later. So next up we had Frederick Holland with his song Stranded, sorry. Stranded. It's a chop.
Yeah,
It's a chop.
pass.
Boring. Sorry about
Yeah.
it. Then we had Matilda SPZ featuring Chris Archer and Slam Dunk with their song Woman's Show. Like I kind of like it. I like this one ish. Um, but like for the fun aspect, like I'm like, oh, this is like fun, you know, but like it's not good enough for me to even save, you know?
Hmm.
It's just it's missing that refinement to the camp that some
Yes.
entries even in this selection have. Um, it doesn't have that. It's just kind of like dated and like not as well executed, I would say.
Yeah, I felt like there was a lot happening in this song. There were a lot of things going on that they were trying to make work, but I just didn't feel like it was working. Um, it's kind of a Euro dance beat. It's fun. I did like that. I like the kind of, woman-centered themes of the song. Even though it doesn't necessarily sound like it, but the themes reminded me of like Good Life by Tess Merkel. It had a bit of
Mhm.
that kind of vibe for me. But it just wasn't working. And I don't know if it was like trying too hard, too many ideas. Um, it was a bit of a, yeah, this one was a bit of a fail for me. And I agree, it's not one that I would actually put on my playlist.
Yeah. Then we move on to so that was semifinal one. So I don't actually know how many people go through each semifinal. I would say probably maybe three or maybe two, and if they do a super final or something. Um, but do you have any favorites? I'll say my favorite. So I would say, okay, if I can only pick one to go through, I'm picking that song Aya, the Ella knockoff. That's what I'm picking to go through. That's my fave.
If I could only pick one to go through from this one, yeah, I feel like I'd also have to say Aya. I think that would, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely Aya. Yeah, that would be my
Yeah.
winner. But
I
let's
guess my
check this. Let's
yeah, yeah.
see actually how many songs do go through because I'm interested. Because this also is happening on the 13th. It's
I
the ninth,
know.
baby. That 13th,
It's
that
this
might be the
week.
day that this comes out.
Mhm.
So we might even know. That means Saturday the 13th. So our episode will already be out by then.
Mhm.
Da, 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 da. Um, six entries will compete through in each of the three semifinals. The top three from every semi qualify for the final. So there
Okay.
will be three songs that
So
actually
that's
do
not
make it
bad.
in.
So I'm picking Aya, Oblivion,
Mhm.
and my ass, I'm picking We Come Alive.
You'll do We Come Alive. I agree with Oblivion. I would probably do Heart on Fire, I guess.
I think we're gonna lose out on one of the girl bops. There's no way three girl bops can make it through. So I would say Aya and Oblivion, based song wise, are for sure gonna go through. I I fear Frederick Stranded. There's got to be one in there, a sneak.
And it stands out from the others because it's
Yeah,
it's not as it's because it's just very different from
yeah.
everything else.
But if Norway's in the mood for cheese, we come alive.
I wonder if they like actual cheese in Norway. What kind of cheese are they eating in Norland? I feel like
I don't
probably
know.
like cottage cheese. I don't know
Ew.
why. Oh, that's what I'm imagining, like cottage cheese or soft cheeses or something. I don't know. If you're Norwegian,
Ooh.
let us know what kind of cheese do you like? If we were to go to Norway, what cheese would you tell us to eat?
One of my best online friends is Norwegian. I'll just ask him, Herman. I'll ask you, Herman. Um, all right, so on to semifinal two. So the first song we've got is Gate or Gatte, or how would you say
I
that?
Okay, I have
You're a Finnish
no
expert, so maybe
I
it's
yeah, well,
closer.
the Norwegian is not the same.
Oh, yeah.
I figured that maybe that letter would be like gotte,
Good day.
gotte. Let's see what the Google voice says it is. Because that thing actually is pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Translate from Norwegian. Oh, interesting. That name actually means riddle,
Oh,
and it said like "gotte,
gotte.
gotte,
Well, there gotte. Oh my god.
gotte."
Oh, gotte. Well, they're singing the song 𝗲𝗄𝘆. And for me, okay, well, number one, just as like background, this song is second in the betting odds. So this is one of the contenders. This is above Kano. This is like really, I don't love this one. It's not resonating with me personally. So I'm not really seeing the whole like when I saw it was second in the betting odds, like I was kind of shocked. I think it seems to be one that's really resonating with Norwegians. It's got that kind of like Viking, Norwegian, a little witchy vibe, which is very different, very cool. Like I like it from that standpoint, like artistically, but it's just not resonating with me. I don't know. And this one was after in the playlist I was listening to, it was the one listed after My AI, and I kept repeating that song. So then this one
Mm.
kept coming on after. So I kept hearing it, and each time it was like skip, skip. Like I don't want like it wasn't like clicking with me.
Yeah, I felt like this one felt like a very kind of typical entry in the sense that if you ask somebody who maybe wasn't familiar with Eurovision what kind of music Norway would send, it would probably be something a little bit like this. Like it did have that kind of like epic, you
Hmm.
know, mythic vibe to it. I didn't think that it was particularly bad at all. I thought it was perfectly fine. It would be different from what they have been sending recently, and sometimes that's good to, but do a little bit of contrast, but I don't know. Yeah, same thing. It wasn't really speaking to me. It wasn't really exciting to me. And not that I don't even like that kind of, well, do you know what? Actually, I'm thinking about other songs that kind of had that sort of vibe. So there was like
You
that Higher Ground, was that a
didn't like that?
song? I
Yeah.
hate that song.
Breathe
I
the
would
arrow
ugh,
in the air.
unless it's Sami, I'm not interested actually, I think, in that kind of like
Yeah.
mythic sound.
Hmm.
The
I'll have
Viking,
to
yeah,
see
the
it
Viking
live.
sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I bet it'll be great live.
Hmm. Yeah. Regardless, this is definitely a contender. And bitch, this semifinal stacked because the next song we've got is My AI by Super Rob and Erica Norwich or Norwick. And girl, oh my God, this is so good. This is so exciting to me. Like I already said it in the last episode, but like my God, I've like actually become way more obsessed even since. Like I cannot stop listening to this song. It's like the only song I'm listening to right
Oh
now.
my
It's
God.
so good. I'm like the more I'm thinking about it, like the more I'm creating like a story of like what this song means in my head, and like the more I'm loving it even more, and like the more I'm fighting with people online about it, the more I'm loving it more, and
Oh my
like
God.
I'm becoming like more aggressively a stan because people are so upset about this one. And it just makes me so like I just love this. It's so perfect to me. It's like got the perfect amount of cheese, but like whereas with the woman show one where I said it's missing that refinement. No, no, no. This one's got that refinement. It's like so well produced. It's so well done. They know exactly what they're doing in terms of the visuals. They're killing the fucking marketing. It's insane. Like they're making all these little memes on the Super Rob account. Like they're fucking ready, and they're ready for Eurovision. Like this is genius to me.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. I'm not maybe quite as excited about this one as you are, but I'm excited about it. Um, I like that it has like a really clear story. That's something that I appreciate in music, where I mean, it's nice too when you have songs that like leave a lot to the imagination, where you could come up with a million interpretations on how it relates to you in your life. I think that's always good, but I like it when it's like, well, this is actually the story that we're telling, and it's like a tight package. I don't know if you know who 𝗵𝗆𝗆 is. You probably know
Mm,
the uh Cats in the Cradle song, Cats in the Cradle
mm,
and the Silver Spoon, Little
hmm.
Boy Blue and the Man. Everyone knows that song, but he's a story song guy. And so I kind of grew up listening to him. And so I like it when it's just like they're telling you their little
Yeah.
story.
He
And
answers right away. He tells me that I'm beautiful. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's also Eurodance, which is a massive
mm.
slay for me personally, because I love Eurodance. That's another type of music I grew up on. So, um, I uh I have to say I love Erica. She did a live on Twitter the other day. This shit was so chaotic. She also was walking around and she was on her cell phone, and so she kept moving her phone, so it kept changing the screen ratio. So it was like she'd be full screen and then she'd be like tiny on the screen like horizontally, and then it would go back and then she'd go back, and she's like trying to find things in her apartment, and then she would just be like and then she would start rapping, and she'd be like, I need to go to bed. I really need to go to bed. Oh my God, there's 67 people watching me. I hope no one's recording this. Meanwhile, I am recording that shit, believe me. So
Oh
I've got
my
a couple
God.
minutes of Erica's absolutely chaotic live on my phone. But because she said, I hope no one's recording this, I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't post the whole thing. Just the cute parts. But I think she's fantastic. She would definitely be keeping us fed content wise.
Yes.
Um, and yes, a lot of people are very up in arms over this song. It has been causing a lot of discourse. Most of the opinions I straight up just disagree with, but there's something to be said about good art gets people talking either because they love it or because they hate it.
Hmm.
Nobody is ambivalent about great art.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
always will elicit a response to you. And this has definitely elicited a response in people. And I've been a bit confused about some of the takes I've seen regarding it, of people being like, I can't believe they're releasing a song about AI. You shouldn't be glorifying AI. And it's like, well, but where's the glorifying of AI here? I don't,
Yeah.
just because you are talking about something that's relevant in the culture doesn't mean you're glorifying it. Yes,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily a critique of going straight up and saying like AI is bad.
Yeah.
It's
It's actually,
bad.
yeah, it's actually like, that's what kind of makes it so genius, is because it is one of those things where, oh yeah, if you're like a dummy and you don't actually listen to the fucking song and you see the fact, oh, they mention AI, and so I'm gonna get all pissed about it. But like when you actually are listening to the song and you're like listening to the story that they're telling, like that is not what it's about. Like, and my personal interpretation is it's a take and a conversation about human relationships with AI.
Yeah.
And like, oh, it's about this, and it's told through the story of a girl falling in love with an AI human robot named Rob. And it's like the absurdity of this relationship with AI. And so like I don't think you can necessarily listen to this. Well, I definitely know you cannot listen to this and just say, "Oh, it's explicitly like supporting AI." There could be arguments that that maybe is what they're trying to say. But like that's not what it is. It like at all. So,
Yeah, and I think that it actually is relevant because we have a lot of people who genuinely are falling in love with their AIs, or if it's not falling in romantic love with their AI, it is having unhealthy relationships with their AI.
mm,
Um, as far as becoming, like leaning on it as a support mechanism, but the truth is it's not a human being and it can't love you back.
yeah.
It might be able to tell you that you're beautiful, but it can't love you back.
Yeah. And especially it makes total sense because there's been this week there's been like multiple like kind of AI songs almost that are have relation to AI that have been released this week. But it makes total sense for artists to be discussing that and singing about that and talking about it because it's completely relevant to their careers and everything that they do. So it makes complete sense. And the other thing is there's no AI in this song.
Yeah.
So what the fuck is there to be mad about? Like in that regard, they're real singers, real songwriters, real producers. Like, just because it's a robot voice, it's bitch. And also, bitch, it's Subwoofer's voice.
Yeah.
That is Subwoofer's voice.
But that's another reason why people immediately hated it, because they hate Subwoofer.
Yeah. Which is just, I, I'm, Yeah, I'm
I
over the Norway hate. It's absurd. Like y'all, but we need to like learn to discern when something is not your taste versus something is bad or like problematic. Like it, you see like the way people talk about Norway in Eurovision and their entrance as if they're problematic. I was like, 𝗲𝗏𝘅𝘅 ain't do shit to nobody. They were literally rays of light, so sweet. Them, their team that year, everything.
they didn't
Like,
even talk. Like,
no,
what?
like the
Come on,
fuck,
guys. You're
like,
literally
and
mascots. You're mad at mascots.
yeah, like they were literally just a positive thing for the Eurovision fandom. But y'all just hate fun. Y'all hate fun, and y'all anti-furry. Like, come on. Like,
Oh my God, you weren't with me in that Burger King, were you?
oh, whenever you ran in,
When, yeah, it was after the 𝗣𝗍𝗆 jam. I was sitting in
yeah.
Burger King in Liverpool at like 4 a.m. and none other than Ben Adams from 𝗲𝗏𝘅𝘅𝘅 walks
Oh
in
my
his
God,
outfit. He didn't have like the head on or anything, but
he had the
it
suit.
was the suit and the yellow socks. And he walks in
Oh,
and he's like ordering his food, and me and my friends are just like,
oh wow,
that, and like, and also trying not to like, disturb him because
yeah.
he was going to eat his food just like we were. Although when he was on his way out, one of the people in our group did ask for a picture. So I did get a
Aw.
picture with Ben Adams at 4 a.m. in a Liverpool Burger King with the background of like enormous fast food. There's like a giant thing of French
Oh,
fries
that's
behind
fun.
him on it. It's a really funny picture. And yeah, I liked 𝗲𝗏𝘅𝘅. I liked their song. One of the weirdest interviews I had ever done in my life, but it was
Yeah.
virtual, so that was also like it made it weird. Um, but I never understood the hate for them. In fact, I had shown that Eurovision to my roommates.
Mhm.
We all watched it together, and one of my roommates picked it as their winner, and they knew nothing about, everybody had a completely blank slate watching that, and they were like, oh my God, this is great, this is amazing, I absolutely love this. They like understood it
Yeah.
immediately. So I think a lot of people really and we've talked before about 𝗤𝗏 Carlson and how he is just this epic boogeyman that everyone hates, and everyone's convinced that Norway is trying to change Eurovision, and every opinion that 𝗤𝗏 Carlson has means that he's forcing it down the throats of the EBU, who are just spineless, which we know they're not spineless. They can put up with a lot of pressure because they're
Yeah.
dealing with a lot of pressure right now. In particular, it ain't doing shit. So, um, yeah, everything about everyone's attitude to Norway is super overblown. And I know we'll probably have some Norwegian people in the comments saying like, I don't like the songs, I don't like the goofy stuff. And that's valid too. I mean, but it's also not surprising because I wouldn't expect everybody in the country of Norway to like that stuff, which is also why like it's not that, I mean, we don't even know if it's gonna win.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is also, I feel like like what kills me for this is because I actually Norway is becoming one of my favorite countries in Eurovision. I love their selection so much. I know a lot of people feel like MGP is on like a downward spiral. I have been loving it more and more every single year. I really love the direction it's going in. It's like it's totally my taste. And so then I see this and I'm like, guys, like they've been getting great results in Eurovision. So this is a lot of people's taste, okay? They're doing like just because you as a fan, you don't personally like what they're sending doesn't mean that they need to change it because you don't like it because they're getting great results. So why should they change? Like they're doing
Yeah.
well, they're on an upward trajectory. And also they do a great mix of like humor and campiness and like Eurovision spirit, but with really good songs. Like 𝗤𝗏𝘅𝘅 was actually a very heartfelt message and song. And yes, it had like a kind of camp image to it with the big wings and the devil creatures and all that. Like it was a very important message and like him representing something on that stage. Like, I just feel like they do a really good mix of both. And so I just feel like, that's what always kills me is I'm like, well, because even like our criticism towards Sweden, it's like, well, but they did just win. And they do win all the time. So
Mhm.
like, yes, would I love them to switch it up? Sometimes, yes, but like if they don't, it makes perfect sense because they're winning all the time. Like,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, and, so I have been liking MGP less and less, but
Mhm.
also I never liked the format of this contest. I don't like super finals most of the time, and before they used to do, like, the duels, which were just bizarre and
Yeah.
weird, so it's actually never, like, been one of my favorite national finals,
Mm.
but I tend to like the songs that they choose. I
Yeah.
think in the end, they do choose pretty good songs. And I think that the song selection this year is actually quite good. There's a few that I really do like.
Yeah. Um, yeah, because I was gonna say just one more thing, like while we're on this, is I kept seeing people be like, "Oh, their only good entries are uh Attention and their 2016 entry." And I'm thinking, and like I saw that so many times where people were like, their last good entry was 2016. Bitch, they didn't even qualify. Like, y'all need to like really think like the last time they didn't qualify was 2016. That is not their best entry. They are not aiming for 2016 era Norway. Like, that's not what they want.
And I had a realization about attention recently
Really?
that I thought I liked attention. I had been listening to a remix of attention.
Ah!
And then I listened to the actual attention, the one that would have gone to Eurovision, and where it is a fine song, I was like, "Oh yeah, I don't actually like this. Isn't something I would listen to." Whereas the remix version I listened to all the time. But I just like had it in a playlist, like a driving playlist. So I wasn't
Yeah.
looking at I wasn't looking at like the artist line or anything. Like it was just a
Mhm.
song that would come on, and yeah, totally different version. So
That's
um
funny.
I don't even agree with everyone that that was their best entry.
No, yeah. Well, speaking of us not agreeing, oh wait, no, sorry, it's a different song. Um, we have Milio with their song "You're Mine," and this is so fucking good, bitch. I don't normally like or resonate with like boy pop for some reason. You'd think I would resonate more with boy pop as a boy who likes pop, but I
Mhm.
don't. But this is just so fucking good. It builds amazingly. It's like edgy. It's got a lot of attitude. It's really cool.
I loved it. In particular, I thought this is definitely a song I would put on a playlist. I would want to listen to this one. It reminded me a bit of Grant Kanoki. If you watched American Song Contest, he was the
Is that how you say
representative.
his name?
Yeah, I think it's Kanoki.
Oh my God, I've been saying it ever since as Nosh.
Not, it's definitely not Nosh. I am pretty positive it's Grant Kanoki. I interviewed him actually. He's a
Oh,
super
really?
nice guy, really nice person.
So sweet.
Um,
I want to
he's
marry him.
great, and he kind of does that like edgy attitude pop music. But I
Look at me
also was
right
getting
now. I'm on
a little
fire.
I was getting Riley vibes too a little bit from it
Yeah,
too. Like the lyrically, I felt like this could be a Riley song, and I like both of these boys, Grant and Riley. So to me, yeah, this one hit the mark for me.
yeah. I love this one.
I wonder if
Um,
he's cute.
yeah, I couldn't really tell from the album art, but he looked like he would be. So maybe Grant, is hot as fuck. I need him. Riley,
Mm-mm.
I need him too, and maybe I'll need this one as well.
Well,
Add him to the
Melio's
husband list.
real name is Miles Curtis Sesselman, which is not a sexy name,
No, it is
and
not.
he's actually Norwegian Australian. Recording artist of Asian and Norwegian descent. Oh, that's
Oh,
interesting.
he
Oh, he was born in
oh,
Sydney. So he's like Australian. He spent time in Oslo and Sydney. He taught himself how to play piano. Oh, that's actually, he's interesting.
he is
He's
interesting
cute.
actually. He is so whoa. If you scroll a little far on Google Images, he had an era of he had okay, he edited these photos like crazy. That is not what he looks like, and his eyebrows are insane. He had a bad era, and that must have been those 2016 eyebrows that time.
Yeah.
But other than that, wait, I have a song from him I've liked before.
Oh,
Wait, he
so
has a
you're
song from
predisposed to like him.
oh, sorry. He has a song from 2019 that I liked. Was he in this before? No, he wasn't. I don't think so. This is weird.
Yeah, it's so weird actually. Like I'm looking at these pictures, he looks different in every single picture to the point where I'm
Yeah.
like, is this actually the same guy? But that's
Yeah.
kind of one of the I like it when people are like chameleons like that, where it's just like they're just changing. Like Laura Pulvideri is like that too. Just every time you see her, you're like, oh my God, she's changed again. Like she looks
Yeah.
different again.
That's crazy. Well, I did not realize I was a fan.
Well,
Um,
how about that?
but hey, there we go. So then next we have Ellie Kristen with her song Touch of Venus. Girl was horny when she was recording this. This was like, it felt like the whole thing was sung through a moan to
Oh
me.
my God.
And like the album art, she's in this like almost, those like shirts that are just like two straps of fabric like covering your breasts,
Mm.
and like you could see some nipple poking through. I was like, oh my God, this girl is like really, she's like, oh, like that was just her whole. I was like, whoa.
Oh my God. Well, Venus is the goddess
I
of
was gonna
love,
say,
so
yeah,
that all tracks. I'm just
girl was
imagining.
definitely being touched.
I know exactly the type of outfit you're talking about because I've been watching a lot of Rock of Love recently, and that is totally the type of stuff they'd be wearing on Rock of
Yes.
Love, where it would literally be like a halter neck and then like the two
Mm,
pieces, and
mm.
then it would like tuck down into their tiny little ruffle skirt
There
that
was
barely covers
one,
their ass.
there was one look from Flavor of Love, where I believe, oh, I want to say it was 𝗤𝗍𝘆.
Oh,
Do you
I
remember
love
Hottie?
her
She
queen with the
follows me on
chicken.
TikTok. She follows
Shut
me on
up. Oh
TikTok.
my God.
She always comments on my stuff. She's like, beautiful art.
That is so funny. You are totally her vibe though, honestly. Like
I
she
know.
also is over the top like you.
Yeah, but she wore this shirt where it was like that, except for it didn't go down. They were like pockets that you put
Yes.
her breasts
I
into.
remember. I remember this outfit.
That's the most, I think that might be one of the most insane things I've ever seen someone wear.
Oh, I think Lynn Human is actually about to start doing Flavor of Love. Don't quote me on that, but I think that she is. Lynn Human,
Oh
she's the
my
most
God. Yeah.
hilarious YouTuber. She's so funny. She does these great like rewatches of classic TV
Hmm.
shows. Definitely go to
That
her page.
that'll get me into it for sure.
Yeah.
What were your
Uh,
thoughts on this horny song?
I didn't like it. In fact, I really disliked it. It had like the weird cadence of like a Broadway song where it was a little bit sing-songy, where
Hmm.
like where like I said, I like when songs tell you a story, but I don't like it when they read you the story.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I felt like it was doing that with the way that she was singing. It I liked that it was kind of like moody and it had this cool vibe to it, but it felt very empty and like it wanted to make a statement, but it just
Hmm.
wasn't really making it. So yeah, this one was a miss for me.
Yeah. Then we had Dag Eric, Oxford, Og, oh, and Anne wait, is there an R in there? Fagermo?
Mhm.
Uh, with Judge Tenderly of Me. I actually like this, like, in a way, like, not in a way for me to like listen to it a lot, but I thought it was done well, and I really actually really liked her voice. Um, and like I could see it being like a ooh, skies are black and blue. I'm thinking about you. Your face. You didn't like it?
Mm-mm. No.
Oh.
My note here is hilarious too because I did not listen to these songs in the order. Like I listened to a
Hmm.
playlist and then I would find the song in the song list and put my thoughts down. And I wrote, Christ, what's with all the acoustic songs? So this was clearly I had listened to a few of the other acoustics that we haven't actually talked about yet. So this is going to be a theme for me going forward. This just happens to be the first time we've reached one of these particular entries. Um, I do not like acoustic guitar most of the time. I think we've talked about this before. I really dislike ukulele as well.
Hmm.
And not that I think there's anything inherently wrong with like ukulele is great in the context of like traditional Hawaiian
Hmm.
inspired music, and acoustic guitars have their place as well. But I just don't really. I just, yeah, no. I don't like it.
It's weird because I don't really either, but I actually like it in this context where it's like a
Mhm.
little just a little more slowed down, heartfelt, like I like it more in that context. I don't love this, but I liked it. I actually, yeah. And then lastly, from this semi, we had Farida, who is a MGP returnee, with her song Heartache. Um, yeah, so like I just said I don't mind acoustic, but like I didn't like this. Because
Mm,
this is a pop song with the acoustic, it doesn't work. Whereas with the other song, it worked to me with what it was trying to do. This one doesn't work because like it's not gonna work for like a fun little dancey song. Like I don't need and I know Elliot compared this to Americano. And to be honest, my reaction was like, really? Because like I didn't remember the song.
mm.
But after I like listened to it with that in my head, I was like, oh no, no. Because Americano is so good. And it's like I don't know. No, we can't compare. There is no comparison. So then from semifinal 2,
Oh, wait,
who
I didn't say what I thought about this
oh,
song.
I'm sorry. I thought whoa.
I didn't like it.
Oh.
No. No. No, so, I mean, as I had mentioned before, I'm really not a huge fan of that acoustic sound. I really don't like it in pop songs, and I wonder if I think there's a particular Avicii song, actually, that
Mm.
turned me off of that acoustic sound in pop.
Oh.
Do you know the one I'm talking about?
No. I don't really know many of Avicii songs. Isn't he Norwegian?
Oh my god, is he?
He's Scandinavian. He's the one who died, right?
He
Oh, he's
did die.
Swedish.
Oh, he's Swedish. It do
Mm.
you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
fucking talking about? I'm just
Yeah.
do you know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
I
So
hate that
wake me
song.
up when
When
it's
yeah, it's
all
all
over.
over. When I'm wiser and
When
I'm
I'm
older. Fucking
older.
kill me. Oh my god. I hate that song. I hate it. I hate it so much. I don't even know why I hate it. What year did that song even come out? What was going on in my life that I hate it so much?
Oh my gosh. It
But
it came out in 2013. Not a good year.
I know why I hate it. I know why. Because I was living in Las Vegas in 2013
Oh, ew.
and I was living with a friend who literally was threatening to kill me. I wouldn't be
Oh.
surprised if that song was on when he was doing that. Like we were in a car. Could get dramatic here for a second. We were literally in a car, and he was screaming at me, and he was saying like, "I have power over your life. I
Ah.
control what you do. If I wanted to if I wanted to run my car into this barrier right now and kill you, I could do it." And he swerved his car and got so close to one of those,
Oh
like,
my
I don't know if you've ever
god.
been in Vegas, but it's just highways
No.
everywhere, and all the
No.
highways are like just like walls of concrete, and he got my side of the car so close to the thing to scare me.
Oh
I
my
literally
god.
that night booked a flight out of Las Vegas and like
Oh,
packed my
wow.
bags while he was sleeping and left in the morning because I was like,
Oh, good for
I'm
you.
not staying here. And I don't know for sure that like that song was on when that was happening, but that was definitely a song that was playing a lot that summer. So it was one of
Yeah.
those things that I was hearing all the time. And I just because I have a truly visceral reaction to that song. And I think
Mhm.
that's anytime I hear that kind of acoustic pop song, I get like the ick. Like I feel my shoulders tense up and I'm like, oh, gross. Fuck this
Yeah.
song.
Oh, well, I'm
But all
sorry.
that being said, definitely if you ever feel like you're in a dangerous situation, you need to try to get yourself out of it as soon as possible because even if you think people are joking, you never know when they're actually going to snap.
Yeah.
Um, so I thought the lyrics of this song were really good. And she is she does have good lyrics in her songs.
She's a great
I
songwriter.
she's a
She
great
wrote that one
songwriter.
song from last year that didn't qualify, but was really, really good.
She's super talented. So yeah, this one's just it's really not for me. But I think it's good.
Yeah. So of this, if you had to pick 3, who are your 3? Mine are My AI,
Yes.
uh, You're Mine by 𝗲𝗍. Um, and if I were to no, I think, um yeah, no, and then that song from the beginning, 𝗲𝗍𝘆. Yeah, those 3. Those are my 3.
I agree with you. Yep.
Yeah. I think there could be an outlier, like I said, and I think that the outlier would be that "Judge Tenderly of Me" song, personally.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. 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 I could see that.
alright, and then on to semifinal 3. So, we have a big name up first here,
Mm.
and that is Kano?
I've always said Kano.
Kano. Imma try to remember to say it that way, because I know ain't nobody says Kino. Like,
I don't think it's
anyways, with the
Kino.
no, yeah, like, I know if that's how I'm saying it, I know it's wrong. Like, I just know. However I say things is always wrong. So, but with their song, Dam Diggy Da, and, it is good. Like, this is one of my favorites of this year, but I am I have this weird thing where, like, if you've been to Eurovision before, if I've heard your other music and it's better than what you're sending in this moment, then I'm just not good at looking at it, like, objectively and thinking like, "Oh, well, but this is still the best of the year." Like, no, because I know you can do better.
Mhm.
So, you should not win. And that's how I feel about this, and especially because of their 3 entries, I think this is their worst. Um, because I feel like this one is really lacking this thing that makes, Kano so special, and that's the Sami yoiking, like,
Mhm.
cultural element. This does not have that in this, and it's almost just like a rap with, whatever his name is.
Fred.
Like,
Well,
it's
he is a rapper.
yeah,
So
but, like
it's not totally a departure, but yes, I do miss
yeah,
the yoiking because I like it when he yoiks.
mhm. Yeah, this one, it just and it in terms of, like, the integrating of the 3 of them, this is very Alexandra heavy, which
Yes.
is good. I love her. I think she's the best of the group. But it's still like a trio. And where Spirit in the Sky felt like everybody had like an equal amount. This one doesn't feel like
Mhm.
that.
I agree completely, especially with the balance on Spirit in the Sky. It really they everyone did kind of have their own part, and it felt like they were
Mhm.
all contributing equally. I don't even know where Tom is in this song.
Yeah.
Um, I do miss the yoiking. I love Kano. I listen to their album Octa all the time. That album in particular is really awesome because they featured a bunch of different indigenous artists.
Yeah.
And um, so you have people basically from like pretty much every continent. At least I know there's people from the Americas, there's people from Polynesia, there's people from Australia. Um,
Mhm.
and it just is just such an amazing mix of different
Yeah.
styles and like bringing to light all these different languages and vocal techniques that you don't always hear. I agree that this isn't probably their best song, but I think it's a good song. I do really like it. And I am happy to see them back in it because also I feel like a lot of times there's this kind of like, of course people don't join a contest if they don't want to win the contest. But it's not always just about like winning. Sometimes it's just about like as the viewer just enjoying a show with a lot of different songs and stuff that you like. So I am happy that they're competing because it's just giving just another thing to enjoy, and
Yeah.
I do think it's one of the better ones in the contest. And especially now after having seen them live and had an amazing interaction with them at Lush,
Oh,
which
yeah.
was so funny because we had just seen them the night before playing. The next day they had their meet and greet at Lush. I was I
Which I
went
was
up.
not there.
Oh, you weren't there. You weren't
No,
there.
I
Oh,
never
that's
met them.
right. That was the day that Greg arrived, and I picked
Mhm.
up Greg that day, and then we went and we did meet and greets with Kano, and I had so I had it was the opening ceremony the night before,
Mm,
and I
mhm.
had Alex Ogden Clark from Glow Up, from the next British makeup star competition reality show. I had booked her to do my makeup on from the Glow Up girl, did my makeup. for the opening ceremony day. So I had this amazing silver eye makeup on. It was crazy. And I didn't want to have it for just one day. So like I slept with my head, like I didn't turn my head onto the pillow or anything to not mess up the makeup. And like, I took the foundation and stuff off and then just put more foundation on the next day, but I had the same eye makeup. And I went to the Kano meet and greet and I walk up to them and I said, I was at your show last night. It was so amazing. You guys are so amazing. And Alexandra looks me dead in the eye and goes, "Oh, yeah, is your makeup from last night too?" And I was so gagged. I truly was speechless. Like I couldn't, and then we just like took our picture and I walked away and I was like, oh my God. I was like, I don't know Norwegian humor well enough to know if she was like taking the piss out of me or what, or if she was just, or if she was genuinely just saying like, was your makeup from last night? Because it's crazy, that's nighttime makeup. But
That's so
it was
funny.
so, I'll never forget that. So I think about that whenever I see Alexandra in particular, that really ridiculous interaction with her.
Oh my God. They were amazing live. I mean, I remember turning to you and saying, I thought they were lip syncing until they were having issues with their mic. And they were obviously not lip syncing because they were,
Yeah.
having to switch mics because only one of them worked. And so they were like
Yeah.
passing them around as, and like, so their lives are incredible. So, I mean, they're so talented. Like, I think that's the thing is like when I know someone is amazing, I know they've created amazing music, like not just Spirit in the Sky. I love that album, like you said. There's so many good songs on there and like so many unique, interesting like things that are bringing like sounds I've never heard before in pop music. And like I know you can do that. Like you've done it multiple
Mhm.
times. So I just want better for them. Um, but you know, is what it is. They could still win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, then we have Mia with her song Green Lights. This is a big artist, okay? People were freaking out. Never, girl, I've never heard her song before. I don't know if it's one of those ones where it's like big in Europe or what, but she has a song called Dynasty. It has 165, almost, well, if you combine the two listings on here, because there's two of the same song, almost 200 million streams on Spotify.
200 million?
Million.
Wow.
Yeah. So I ain't never heard this song before. It's a super slow song. It might have been a trend on TikTok or something. It seems, I think it's a European thing. I think we didn't get this trend in the
Okay.
US, but huge. So a lot of people were really excited about her, and I actually really, really love the song. I think it's beautiful. It's definitely my favorite ballad, even though we really don't have many ballads in this lineup at all. So like, it's gonna stand out way more because of that. And I just think it's gorgeous. I love the kind of orchestral elements to the instrumental, and I think it builds so beautifully, and it takes me on like a da-da-da-na-na-na-na. Like, I don't know. It just like it's got this really like beautiful build to the end, like this big grand explosion. I really love this. I think it was beautiful, and I could really see it winning, and I wouldn't be mad about it.
Yeah, this one didn't do anything for me. I don't even remember what it sounds like.
What? Hitting all the green lights, hit the ground running. Da, 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 da.
I definitely listened to it, but
I
in
love.
one ear and out the other.
Wow, that's crazy. I thought this was beautiful. Oh well, there was a song called "Save Me" by Ann Princess, and the only thing I cared to write down was the lyric. Because it just was like grating on my ears when she's like, "Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by its toe." I was like, girl, shut up. You're so unserious with that. Shut up.
That would that's bad even for junior Eurovision.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
The whole phrase too, like, come on, girl.
eeny, meeny, miny, mo would be fine if you were rhyming it with something other than catch a tiger by its toe.
Yeah.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I just wish that you would know. Bada,
Eeny,
bada,
meeny,
bada,
miny,
ba.
mo, Edgar Allan Poe.
For example. Um, as soon as the whistling part started, I was out.
Yeah.
The only good whistling song is the Whistle Song by Flo Rida.
Mhm.
Um, it's okay. It just really it
Yeah.
wasn't for me.
Yeah. 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 Then there was Take Me to Heaven, Take Me to Your Heaven, by Thomas Jensen. And I liked it. I liked the beat. I think it's fun, but it's a little dated, a little cheesy. Just whatever.
Yeah, I liked it until it got to the kind of like clap part. Same like with whistling. I don't like that kind of element in a song.
Mhm.
I al- I especially don't like clapping, but anything I don't know. It just always feels a little bit gimmicky to me.
Yeah.
And I obviously like I like Vampires Are Alive. I love gimmicks most of the time, but there's something about clapping that just feels so lazy. Like it's one of those things where it's like, and this is where you join in. And I don't
Yeah, yeah,
know.
yeah. Like cheap crowd applause.
Yes, it feels cheap. Um,
Mhm.
and I didn't feel like this song really went anywhere, but it did have it. I kept it. It felt very cinematic to me in my head. Like
Mm.
I was seeing pictures. I was seeing slow motion montage. You know, like
Mm.
in a movie or a TV show. I felt like it would really work in that kind of a context. But I felt like as a song to listen to, it just wasn't that for me
Mm.
personally.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we had Waltz of Death, which I think is a crazy cool name of a song by Mistra. And this is the other white face goth kind of, I don't know, whatever you would call that makeup. I kind of live for the fact that when I was like going through with photos, I was like, oh my God, I love the fact that there's two people and they're not in the same group at all, not in the same semi. Like, I was like, I kind of live for that. I love them together. Like, I wanted this to be like iconic because like all their photos and stuff were so fun. But it just, it wasn't, it wasn't anything for me. It was too theater, too weird. I don't know. Not weird. Not weird. It wasn't weird enough almost.
Yeah. Yeah, it was way too theater. Just it was another Broadway style kind of ballad, which I really, really don't like. Um, so yeah, this I have to say this whole semi is really not it for me.
Yeah, they really
Like
said
I'm
we need Kano to go through.
Yeah, they really did. They really did. And I feel like actually now that we're like going through it, because when I listened to it, it was kind of like a random list.
Hmm.
And so it didn't seem as like obvious as it does now when we go through it semi by semi because the producers had a really heavy hand in what the
Yeah.
outcome is going to be here.
Yeah, because when we're naming the top three, it's kind of like obvious.
Right. Like it's almost like they should have like just done they should have put all of those uh acoustic songs like either together or they should have put like split them up.
Hmm.
Whereas instead it's kind of like we have two semis that are like half acoustic songs and then
Hmm.
like I don't know, something feels very unbalanced about the way that they split these songs.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, the last, wait, is this the last song? Yeah, the last
Oh, there's one
song.
more.
Yes, we had Myrrh by 𝗲𝗄𝗆. I fucking love this. I'm sorry, this is one of my faves.
Really?
I love this. It reminds me of Jacob Karlberg, who, if y'all don't remember, he competed a few years ago in Melfest with Ona tuya o santare, hey, Omna tuna na santare, hey. But I was a huge fan of him before he was ever in Melfest. He's actually one of those. He was one of those Swedish artists I always said, "Oh, I would love for him to go to Melfest," and then he finally did, and he NQ'd. But
Mm.
but I love him. It's like upbeat, fun, kind of. I don't know, just like good vibes. I like this.
I thought it was corny.
Yeah.
It was another acoustic pop song for me, and I don't know in what order it was where I heard this one. So it's possible that I maybe would have liked it a bit more if it was the first of those acoustic pop songs, and it was like the second to last one. I was probably so sick of hearing
See, I didn't get
acoustic guitar
acoustic
pop.
vibes at all. I'm
You
not gonna
didn't?
lie. No.
Um, It just yeah, this whole semi was disappointing for me, but I think the, selection in general, the group of songs that they have is pretty good.
Hmm. Yeah. So our top three from the semi, would you say mine's 𝗲𝗏𝘅𝗐, Green Lights. I would say Mare or Myrrh as the third, but
I l
definitely you can only pick 𝗲𝗏𝘅𝗍
I
probably.
literally don't care what happens
Let me
with
tell you,
this
Green
one.
Lights was magnificent. She's definitely going through.
Okay.
I think she got a better chance going through than Kano does,
Like, I don't know what's
to be frank.
happening what else is happening on January 27th, but, my guess is I will not be watching this.
Girl, yeah, no, we gonna be preparing for our trip.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Let's see, the
And
national selections
oh
calendar.
yeah, oh my God, I know. Yeah, it's gonna start getting crazy, girl.
Oh, that's the same day is, Lithuania Heat 3, songs announced for Iceland, but it's the Luxembourg final, so I'll be watching the
Oh,
Luxembourg
yeah,
final for
yeah.
sure, for sure.
So then that means Lithuania starts this week too, if they're on Heat 3 by
Lithuania,
then.
same day. So on the 13th, it'll be Moldova auditions, Norway Heat 1, Lithuania Heat 1.
Okay,
Oh
thank
my
God
God,
there's
its
not.
national final season has
It
actually
is
started.
every weekend. There's gonna be like new stuff.
Oh my God, my
Oh my
Saturdays are
God,
gonna be
girl.
so full now. I have Finnish lessons on Saturday now, and they're gonna be from 10 a.m. to noon.
Oh my God.
I know.
Well, I have to work until midnight.
Oh my
So
God. Oh, bless you.
from like 3 p.m. until midnight.
Oh,
So,
that's terrible. I'm so sorry.
but so now that we've gone through all the songs, who is your winner?
Oh,
Or like you can give a few favorites. Mine, like I know my winner is My AI. Like I feel very strongly about this song. It's probably my favorite song I've heard of all the season so far, maybe only behind that 5 Minutes drug song. That's the only one I think that is maybe better.
yeah.
Like of
I
everything.
uh oh. Yeah, I would say my AI is probably my winner for this because it just feels like something it's just something else. And I know a lot of
Yeah.
people are like fed up with what they consider to be gimmicky songs, but I feel like this is just it's not necessarily something that we've heard before. It's
Yeah.
not like a redo of from a famous group that we're already familiar with. Like there's something that's a little bit fresh with it, even though it is the same guy from Subwoofer. It doesn't feel like the Subwoofer song
Yeah.
personally to me. So I would say that, yeah, my AI probably.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Every country has things that they do well and that they find their niche. And like Albania sends female like ballads every single year or like, powerful songs. Sweden sends pop every single year. Like some people got like some countries, they got their export and Norway found their niche with camp.
Yeah.
And there's worse things to be hyper fixated on. So,
Mhm.
alrighty. And then, oh Lord, last up of today, we've got Croatia.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, I was just gonna say I'm really excited for this one. I
me
didn't
too.
pay attention to it last year, but some of these songs are damn good.
Yes, there's actually a lot of amazing stuff. So, for those of you who did not maybe like follow the way that the Croatian song rollout went, they played them for some reason on a radio show on HRT. They did a little radio show where they played all the songs, and then they weren't released though for like several more days after that. And they still have not all been released. Like I still search some of these songs and they don't come up anywhere. So some of these songs I was not able to hear the full version. I'm not gonna lie, but I got like a good length bit of them. Um, but most of them I was able to hear fully, and I did listen to the radio show briefly, so I heard like the whole first section of it, and it was kind of wild because some of them, basically the way it worked was every single song they did like a little artist like intro where the artist was saying a little bit about their song. I couldn't understand anything because it was all in Croatian. But 𝗏𝗏, all theirs was a robotic, like high-pitched, super like pitched up laugh. It was like
Oh my
and then
god.
it went on to the song. And um it was like maybe 5 seconds long. And then some of these bitches were doing like 5-minute things
Oh
about their
my
songs. And I was
god.
like, I am like skipping through because also because it's on a radio show, I'm having to listen to hear what the title of the song is. So I'm having to like, I'm like waiting to listen to hear like what sounds like maybe that's probably the title. And then I go and like confirm. And I'm having to listen through this whole wall of Croatian. It was like very hard for me.
Oh my god.
Um, but this was a good selection. I gotta say, like, oh, huge step up from last year where I listened to all the songs and I hated them all. At first, like this was a huge, like, there's a lot of really great songs in this. So I guess we'll start out with number one. We got uh Tam oh my god.
A
Okay, so
Tamburica lullaby.
𝗵𝗡𝘅𝘆 Lullaby by Alan Duras. Um, I to me, this sounds like a song I've heard before, and, like, not one of those ones I could pinpoint, but it just sounds so familiar. I do like the instrumental little breakdown moments, but it's very generic.
Yeah. What stood out to me particularly about this song is that the lyrics are really bad.
Yeah.
Most of them don't rhyme at all. The ones that do rhyme are like play and stay, like very simple, nursery rhyme type lyrics. Um, it did remind me of something too, but I couldn't put my finger on it, which sometimes is good, sometimes it's not so good. I think in this case,
Yeah.
it's really not so good. Like there was a little bit of, and I don't know if they actually were trying to do wordplay here with the la 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 bye and lullaby. And it's an interesting idea, but I don't know that it's successful here, and if
Yeah.
that's even what they were trying to do, or if I'm just trying to find meaning where there is none. Um, but yeah, this one was a little bit of a miss.
Yeah. Yeah. Not for me. But then we had Babaroga by Let Three Bitch. Okay, I actually really like this, apart from the auto-tune vocal.
Mhm,
And when I first heard it, I actually did think it was AI because of there's a difference between like AI robotic vocals and auto-tune. And there's sometimes with AI, there's like a broken upness because it's trying to form words by taking like words that other people have said and like putting it together. And after listening to it a few times, it's not, I don't think, but that's what I thought at first. Um, because this one is so auto-tuned. Whereas like with my AI, there's auto-tune, but it's still their voices are very, very clear. And to the point where they could sing it with no auto-tune and it sound pretty much the same.
mhm.
Whereas this one, it completely alters their voice to a point where it's like that full-on robot voice. And that ain't working for me, right? To listen. But I think live, this is gonna be really cool because if it doesn't have that, then it's just gonna be their voices. And I actually think the beat and not necessarily the lyric translation because I don't know the lyrics translated, but the lyrics and the rhythm and all that, all those things together, I feel like it's better than Mama's too.
Oh my god, by far, not even a
Yeah.
question, honestly.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and I love Mama's J, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. There's something that's so disjointed about that song, which is part of the theme of
Yeah.
the song. But these fucking guys are crazy as hell. I love them. They are so punk. It's just they're everything. I felt the vocal effects thing was very heavy-handed. But they're doing a bit here.
Yeah.
This is part of their art. Um they're shit posters basically. is what these guys are. So if you don't know, they've been saying all along that this is not their song. They didn't write this song. Somebody else wrote this song and submitted it pretending to be them. And the kind of like theory is behind all of this is actually that um, this is actually a like an artistic statement about AI and the ability
Mhm.
of people to use AI to copy your work and pass it off as being something that you've done organically. So I think that is totally brilliant. Um, and I think that the song actually is great. And you can hear if you can ignore the vocal effects, you can hear what a wonderful song it actually is. And
Yeah.
the melody of it's great and the beat is great and it's just like a really good like rock song.
Mm.
And I'm excited to see this one live without all of the vocal effects because I think it'll be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. But I will say, so Eurovision did confirm that autotune is still allowed in Eurovision, or is allowed. I don't know if it's still allowed or it's allowed, but it is allowed in Eurovision in when it's being used as a vocal effect and not
Mhm.
as a way to kind of like cover up vocals. But so I don't know, like maybe I don't know if they would be able to use it for a whole song. But I'm wondering, like, maybe they would be able to actually do this with a vocal effect like this live. Because it's so extreme, it's obviously not to cover up vocal quality.
Right, because yeah, it's not pitch correction. They don't
Yeah.
allow pitch correction, but they do
Mhm.
allow vocal effects. So, because I think Riley's backing track had vocal effects
Mhm.
on it, I would expect my AI to have the vocal effect in the
Yeah.
backing track. Although some people were giving her shit about how like, oh, it's not going to be so easy once you don't have auto tune, and she's like, bitches, I can fucking sing, fuck you.
She's an amazing singer, yeah.
Yeah, she's a great singer. Um, so yeah, that'll be interesting to see if they make it through. I honestly was surprised to see that they would go to do Dora a second time around, but I mean, maybe they just had a really good experience in Dora and had a good experience with Eurovision, that it was good
Yeah.
enough that it made them want to be part of the movement. And I mean, they did have obviously they had a great result. They were one of the top
Yeah.
public votes, right? Or top 10
Yeah.
of public vote.
Yeah. And they
Um,
came 11th overall, so, like
incredible result. I
yeah.
mean, there's really nothing to scoff at. And their audience opened up hugely because I think before that they were really mostly only known
Yeah.
within the Balkans and probably within, with people who are super into punk rock and like
Mhm.
obscure punk rock in, other countries I could imagine being into that three. But I mean, they had fans coming to Croatia from Australia to go to their
Yeah.
concerts. So I think maybe it just, especially at this point in their career when they are so established, to kind of have this whole new world of Eurovision open up to
Yeah.
them. Like it's nice to see that they weren't like, okay, that was one thing, or that sucked, and I don't want to have anything to do with it. So the fact that they want to be part of the Eurovision phenomenon, I think is just really cool, and it says a lot about what Eurovision can be for an artist.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see them back, and I actually I was nervous because I don't, like, love a lot of their other music, so, like, there was a very high potential that I would hate whatever it was that they would end up sending, and I love this. Like, it's amazing. I'm so glad it's on wait, is it on Spotify? It might not be. I was gonna say I'm glad it is. I thought it was, but it might not be because there's only, like, 8 songs that are on Spotify. Oh, no, it is. It is because
Yes,
it's got
it
a
is.
little ducky as the album art. Yes, it is, and I'm so glad it is.
I think they
Um,
are all on Spotify though, because I think I listened to them all on Spotify.
really?
Yeah, I had been in a
Maybe I just
playlist.
had a bad playlist.
You might have had a bad playlist because there was I started with one playlist and it
Hmm.
was it was like incomplete,
Yeah, because I was on
I
Play
think.
ESC, which is usually pretty good, but maybe I need to get over to, like, Martin F Falgren or whatever. Um, but next up, we had Baby Baby by Noel, bitch. I loved this. This is just a good bad bitch Croatian English bop. So good. Baby, baby. Da-na-na-na-na, da-da-na. I love this. It was one of my favorites. It's definitely one that I feel like it'll be one of my most listened to of this, like of Dora, because it's really catchy. It's like addictive.
The chorus totally reminded me of something, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And I kept trying to think like,
Hmm.
what? It'll probably come to me in a dream tonight. I'll be like, yeah, it reminds me of that song. But yeah, it was cool. This was definitely a good one. It might be a theme with this particular selection for me, where there's a lot where I'm like, yeah, like it
Yeah.
was good. It was good. But maybe not that I necessarily loved it, but that I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot that I just kind of, when I heard them, I'm like, it's fine. So
Yeah, this is
I
a very serviceable national selection. There's very
yes.
few songs that I remember when I was listening to it where I was like, it's shit.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's opposite of last year where it was mostly shit.
exactly. And then there's some that stand out that are really good. But one that didn't for me was Can We Talk by
Mm.
Boris Stock. To me, this one was boring as fuck. It's got that kind of like male gospel ballad. Shut up.
Yeah, this
Can
one was,
we talk it over?
I did not like this one. The lyrics sounded like they were written by Bret Michaels.
That's
And
insane.
probably nobody knows what I'm talking about, but I've been watching a lot of Rock of Love lately, and he was washed up when he did that show in 2012 or whenever it was. It might have even been earlier than that, but he was already washed up at that point, and he kept singing all of his songs, his new songs, and they all sounded like this.
Mm,
Just I don't know, ugh, icky.
yeah. And Brett Michaels isn't what I want to be thinking of when so I get it.
Yeah.
Um Then we had Diamanti by Natalie Balmix. Bitch! I think
Mm.
this is a potential winner. I really do.
Ooh,
It's
okay.
a dramatic pop ballad with like, okay, I'm really bad at like like describing music. I feel like because like when I listen to it, I got like rock influence, but maybe that's not in there at all. But that's what I got. Croatian language. I feel like this one lends itself to like huge moments on stage, and I thought it was just like very grand. I just thought it was so powerful, so good. I really do feel like this could win. Like because there's some can I feel like a lot of the other contenders are like that kind of campy vibe, and this one's a really good like serious entry in terms of like just if you're because they did Let 3 last year, I don't
Mhm.
know if the Croatian public will be like, we did that last year. Let's maybe send something that's considered like, more like good music,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And like I just thought this was really amazing and yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. So actually, I take back what I said before. You are right that whatever playlist on Spotify was incomplete because this was one of the ones I had to watch on
Mm.
YouTube. And the reason I know that is because I watched the video instead of listening
Mm.
to the audio. Um, immediately what stood out to me was that I totally have that wig that she's wearing. That is the same wig basically that I wore for our joint sleigh promo shoot. It's like that kind of like white blonde part wig.
Oh.
Although hers has like kind of like dark roots on it. So maybe it is her real hair. I don't know. But I have the wig looks just like that. And then I was like, actually, I think I could probably do that whole look right now with stuff that I've got from my closet. Like I've got the little belt thing that she's got on. I definitely have a white dress in there somewhere. I was like, oh my God, I could totally do that. Um,
Yeah.
but also this reminded me of a Eurovision concept that I had done when I was
Really?
competing. Yeah, which was like it was so funny because I literally did this concept for a song called Ice Drift and like the visual idea for like the staging or so what we did for our animation was it was like the singer on like a big like iceberg and like the iceberg was
Mm.
kind of like floating on stage like it was floating in the water and she was kind of standing on
Oh,
like this big
yeah.
diamond and was floating on there and even my artist was dressed in like a white dress and everything like I was like this is actually kind of freaky like I totally did a concept package very very similar to this
Yeah.
particular song
Huh.
and that was one of my favorite entries actually when I was doing Eurovision. I really liked that song a lot. But yeah, so I thought that this was yeah, I thought this was good. I thought it was good. It wasn't like a one that I'd put on my playlist or anything, but I liked the vision. Um, so I'm excited to actually see what she does on stage because it seems like there was a bit of, with the visuals there, she does want to kind of, bring us something a little bit dramatic.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I did not know there were videos for all these songs. Um, I'm
They're
kind
not
of gagged.
really like videos though.
They're
Like
visuals though. I didn't get any of this.
they're visuals. Yeah, they're visual videos.
This would have helped a lot, but it is what it is. I did not see those. I don't know why I was like searching entries and they weren't coming up. Like, and
Hmm.
now I'm just on YouTube and they're right there. So okay. Okay. Um, well, next up we had 𝗤𝗍𝘆𝗀𝗀 by Pavel, whatever. Girl, to me, this sounds like straight up like 70s, 80s, like
Hmm.
not, I don't, okay, when I say ABBA, I don't mean good.
Yeah.
I don't want us to confuse the two. But, um, but in the sense that like literally sounds like it came out back then, like plucked straight from that era, not elevated for 2024. Yeah.
Yeah, this ain't it. It's so dated. It doesn't feel like it's bringing us anything new whatsoever. Um, Total miss.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, then we had Gasoline by Marcella. English pop, cute. It's like it's one of those ones where I was like, oh, this is serviceable.
Yeah.
Like this is cute, you know.
Yeah. I didn't like the chorus on this one. I
Hmm.
thought the verses were a little bit boring. I thought the lyrics were a little bit derivative. Um, Mostly I felt like it sounded like a song that would have been written for Pink, but that she
Oh
said no
yeah.
to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it felt like to me.
I see that. Well, then we had How Do You Love Me by Emma
I think that's
and
Erna,
Erna.
ERNA. Yeah,
Oh,
it's just the
oh,
font makes it
it
looks like an
is.
M.
Yeah. Um, to me, this was another one of those kind of sexy, breathy, like, okay, I used to reference this a lot back in the day. There is something weird on my shirt. I just felt it.
My God.
It's like,
Squirrel.
ooh. I think it's eyelash glue.
Oh, ew,
Um,
weird.
I know. Um, I used to reference this kind of sound all the time. The dusty, dirty bar sound. When I walk into a dusty,
Mm.
dirty bar and hear this, like, that's what it was giving me. And I hate that. That's like my least favorite sound is the dusty, dirty bar sound.
Oh, that's funny. I like the dusty dirty bar sound, so this song didn't offend me whatsoever.
Mm,
I thought the bass line was fucking sick. That was one of the things I noticed at first. I'm like, oh, where you have the bass line where you can actually hear the bass line. It's there. Um,
mm,
and I thought it was really nice. I liked that it kind of had like that lounge rock sort of feel to it.
mm.
This is one that I'm going to be keeping an eye on with the live
Really?
show. Yeah.
Ooh.
Not necessarily like I think it's going to win, but it's going to be one that I think it has the potential to actually be a bit captivating once they do it
Oh,
live.
okay. Hmm. Then we had Lying Eyes by Vinco. Girl, boring as fuck. Ain't take me nowhere. No,
Oh
it's a
God, yeah.
no.
This was a sleepy one. It was definitely giving me uh a montage at the end of Grey's Anatomy where they show the people sick in the bed and the people crying because
Hmm.
they've been cheated on, and then the people going home and giving their children a kiss on the head while the kids are asleep and they don't know that Dr. Daddy has come home because Dr. Daddy's never there. And
Hmm.
um that's what and I hate Grey's Anatomy. So that's not a positive thing to say that it was like on Grey's Anatomy. So yeah, this was I could never hear this song again as long as I lived and be perfectly fine with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, same with this next song. More by Lana Mandaric. Mandaric. Like whatever. Like, okay, kind of like it sounded like it could be something, but also it just didn't go far enough. And it's just, I don't know, whatever, like trying to be edgy in a way, but like not really ballady, but not really. Like just like, I don't know, just not a standout for me.
Yeah, it felt a little bit like vocal exercises at points in the song where she's just kind of like just doing stuff. And I don't like that when people do that kind of when they're just making sounds and they're not really singing anything. It was kind of, I don't know, empty for me.
Yeah. 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 It just like, when you listen to something and you're just like, okay, well, I felt nothing after that.
Yeah.
Like, but it's like you could tell that it's like drama, like you're trying to make me feel something, but I just felt nothing.
Yeah.
Um, then we had 𝗫𝗆𝘆𝘆 by James Knight. Okay, it's like, I don't know. It's not my vibe. It's just kind of generic Croatian boy bop, but outdated. Like I don't like his voice. It's very whiny to me. It's not. And so that type of thing does nothing for me. Like I like a good bop, but like you gotta have something that like takes it to another level. And like if I don't like your voice, then it's just it ain't gonna work for me.
I also didn't like his voice. And I felt like it sounded a little bit outdated, but it is kind of a bop. So, um, we'll see, I guess, what happens with this one. But yeah, this one wasn't for me. We're kind of going through a tough little stretch right here,
I
actually,
was gonna
of
say, girl,
songs. Yeah.
we said we like the selection.
But that doesn't mean we like every song. And there's a
Yeah,
lot of
exactly.
songs in this selection.
Exactly. And this one was good-ish, like goodish.
Mhm.
But we did have Ne Placem Zbog Nie by Sasha Lojar.
Oh man, you are so struggling here.
Girl, like I cannot. We need to have you do these like things because like I can't pronounce anything.
I think the name is definitely Sasha Lazar.
Sasha, yeah, yeah.
Yes, Sasha. Nie placem zbognie.
Oh, you just make everything sound like you're a native. Okay. Going forward, you're just gonna have to say everything
Well, you
because
know, so I have been to Croatia. It is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my life. It is
I'm
gorgeous. If any
jealous.
Croatians are watching, I'm so jealous that you get to live there because like what a paradise. It's like it's the Slavic Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. I spent like probably a week there. I went to Split and Dubrovnik and it was
Oh,
just fantastic. I ate just the most amazing, delicious food and everyone was so nice and the weather was gorgeous. Yeah, I love Croatia. And the language is funny though because it's kind of like Polish, but it's also nothing like Polish at the same
yeah.
time. And the alphabet is different, so like the special character letters are different. So like yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hated this. Um, theater male ballad Isa no is what I wrote because it's
It was a
just Isa no.
pass. Yeah,
Yeah.
this one was a pass.
Yeah. Yep. Then we had 𝗫𝗆𝘆𝘆 by Barbara Munoz. Okay. Like the name was giving me like I gotta stand. Like 𝗫𝗆𝘆𝘆, like
Oh
girl,
yeah, diva, it's right in the
like
title.
I was like, oh, diva, like queen, like okay. It's like kind of a sleigh, but also a sleigh that does not catch my attention or resonate with me at all. Um, I don't know. Just wasn't working for me. A little too everywhere, all over the place.
Oh, this one was working for me, let me tell you.
Really?
Oh my God, it was working. It was working all kinds of things for me. It was lighting up my nostalgia big time. Um, I was getting feels of Renata 𝗫𝗆, who's an amazing Polish kind of like alt rock singer, 𝗫𝗆𝘅𝘆, who's a Russian singer who's just super famous. I mean, any Slavic person who's watching,
Oh,
they almost definitely know 𝗫𝗆𝘅𝘆. She's famous, 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 famous. She has this song called 𝗏𝗡𝘅𝘆, which is just incredible. It's my favorite song by her, and it kind of had a little bit of the same vibes as this. So I
Ah,
love this kind of Slavic alt rock. Um, this is one of my favorites actually from the
wow.
whole selection, and it was one of the first songs I listened to too. So I was like, oh, we are off to a good fucking start because I am feeling this.
Oh, wow. That's wild. So then next up we had 𝗫𝗏𝘆𝘆 by Lara Demarin. Okay, but there's also a male vocalist in this. There's a rapper.
Yes, there is, and he just seems to
So
be entirely
he's
uncredited.
just, yeah, he's just completely uncredited. We just like she just paid someone off the street to like pop in for that verse.
Yeah.
He doesn't get a credit. Um I actually thought this was really good. Like okay, not good like as in good, but like good as in I enjoyed myself
Mhm.
listening to this. And then the rap was like truly unexpected. Like that really caught me off guard. I was kind of shocked. Dated beat. Like, this is, like, not working for me in that sense, but it was a fun little moment. It was a nice little break in what was a lot of similar stuff, and then I had this, and I was like, "Oh, oh, whoa, 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 didn't expect all of that."
Yeah, when the rap part kicked in, I definitely made, like, an audible, "Ooh!" Like, "Okay,
Yeah.
uh, not okay, that's they switched it up here." I like that I was surprised. It's good for me to be surprised where a song takes you somewhere that you weren't really expecting it to take you. Um,
Mhm.
but I felt like everything else about it was a little bit boring.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it's just that it would need a little bit more work on it to punch it up a little bit. Um, but it did have good parts, and um, I thought that was positive.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited to see it live, Are we gonna maybe it's Flow Rida on it.
Oh,
It's
if it
not.
was, his name would be there.
Yeah. Whoever the Croatian flow rider is, equivalent.
Crow Rida.
Croatia. Pro rider, yeah.
Croatia. 𝗲𝗏𝘆𝘆. That would actually be a great name if you were a drag queen.
That would be amazing. You know what? Let 3, if you want another drag queen in your video, I'll pop in as the Croatian, alter ego, and that'll be my name.
Maxi Rainbow as 𝗲𝗏𝘆𝘆. I love it. I love it.
Oh my god. Well, then we had the Splitters. 𝗥𝗲𝘆𝘆𝘆. Okay, I don't know genres again, like, and especially with rock, like, to me, this is like alt rock.
Yeah, I'd say.
Okay.
I mean, alt
Um,
rock is already so broad that could
broad,
mean a lot of things. So, like, yeah, I would call this alt
but
rock.
I don't know. I felt like it was like very mid alt rock, like just like, okay, what it is, fine. But it's like kind of reminiscent of stuff I've heard before, so it's just not exciting. Like, it's not a genre I resonate with normally, and they didn't bring anything new to the table.
Yeah, totally. It was a whole ass mess, honestly. There were some like weird elements, especially towards the beginning, that made no sense. Um, it also wasn't what I was expecting whatsoever. The name The Splitters is a cool name. Like, I would like a girl punk band called The
Ooh,
Splitters.
yeah.
I'd stan. But then it was like these totally average, like young guys. And I was
Mm,
also expecting them to be old, like, because I was listening to the music. I was making dinner at the time when this was a music video that I had on. And I was
mhm.
expecting like a 50 or 60-year-old guy to be the singer. Something just sounded so old about it. And then I look on the screen and it's a dude who's probably younger than me. I was like, okay, wow, this is nothing is matching here.
With, like, a weird Bieber haircut. Like,
With
what are you doing?
yeah, this one was not it.
Yeah. Well, then we had One Day by Misha, and he okay, I, like, had such high expectations based on the visuals, based on the album art, based on all that, because it was really fucking cool. And I actually, like elements of it. I feel like it's pretty good most of the time, but that it doesn't go anywhere. And that if like, yeah, it needed some tweaking to the chorus to like build up to something. Cause it was like, it didn't go anywhere. It's very flat line for me. Um, but like, I like the vibe. Like, I liked what they were trying to do.
You have got to check out the video because
Oh,
oh, you did see the video for this
I
one.
just was looking right now.
The
It's
visuals
amazing.
are so wasted on this song.
Yeah.
I don't know if they need to do a remix. I think a remix would work. I don't know if they need to give it to somebody else to remix it, but it just I was like, oh God, like this, the amount of potential that was missed here is just enormous.
Yeah, because I actually do agree with a remix. Like, I think this could be a potential winner. Like, I think the lyrics are not bad or anything like that. Like, again, like, I really feel the bass of the song is pretty good. It's just that instrumental needs a kick up, just a little
Yeah.
kick to like make it really hit, make it really grand and epic and cool.
And it's an electronic music song too. Like
Yeah.
literally they could do that like on their decks very easily.
Mhm.
They could punch this song up, to 11 if they were playing it in like a live scenario, they could do that. So, like the potential is definitely there, but I mean, I think this is probably what we're going to get at the
Yeah.
final or semi, whatever it is they're doing.
Yeah. Well, listen, if they're this far in the podcast, maybe they will take notes and
Yes,
make
yeah,
changes.
I'm sure they listen to all of this. And God bless anyone who's still with us here listening. Although
Oh my
I know
gosh.
that some of you do listen to the end,
They,
which is
yeah.
awesome. We'd love you for that. We'd love you for that, honestly.
Yeah. We appreciate it. Um, and then we also have 𝗲𝗏𝗆 by E.T. I actually think this is amazing. I feel like it is dated. Like it is definitely reminiscent of stuff I've heard in the past in that sense. However, it's really well done, I think. And it's just fun, it's exciting. It's got like, I don't know. I don't think I fully know what Eurodance is. Because when I heard this, I thought it was maybe Eurodancey, but maybe it's not. It's more disco.
I'd say this is definitely more disco than Eurodance. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
For me, this is like straight up disco polo. And I love disco polo. I am such a goofy doofy when it comes to disco polo. It
What
is
is that?
it's Polish. It's basically music for villagers in Poland. Um, but music for villagers in Poland is not like music for rednecks in America. It's
Mhm.
completely different. Like your average Polish villager, they're gonna it like keytars, electronic,
Mhm.
up tempo, fun, dirty lyrics. It's the
Yeah.
type of music they play at weddings. Disco polo, it's
Mm.
what you get shit faced to. Like it's
Mhm.
literally music for drinking. I don't even drink, but that's like what it is. Good time music. Nobody listens to disco polo to cry.
Yeah. I see that actually, like, of just like now you just got me, like, in my brain, like, all these Polish people, like,
They go hard at the disco. Seriously, they go hard. I have been to some crazy ass disco polo parties in the most villagey ass places, and they have amazing parties. The
Well,
music's
maybe you
corny
got
though. The music is corny, but
we love corn, though.
yeah,
We
exactly.
love
I'll have to
corn.
send you some
We're
disco polo
American.
songs. Yeah.
We love corn here.
Yeah. It's an indigenous food. Same with potatoes.
Yes, well, I mean, can we really call it indigenous if it's a completely different food
Well,
at
I
this
mean,
point?
it's been so like genetically modified and stuff. But yes,
It's
both maize and potatoes are from originally the United States. What is
Ah,
now what are the Americas, but what we think
mhm.
of as what we call the United States now, especially corn.
Slay corn.
Yeah, corn, beans, and squash, the Holy Trinity.
Well, then we have 𝗲𝗡 by 𝗬𝗏𝘃. Girl, this one was not for me. This one was like really just taking me somewhere, but like the whole fucking time. Bitch,
Yeah.
and we never reached the damn destination. I was sitting here like, okay, we really, right, girlie, we really built into something where we built it too. Okay. All right. It was really trying to be that grand, huge moment, and she never got there.
This one was so disappointing for me. So the initial playlist that I played started with one of her songs, and it was
Mm.
a bop. I was like, "Oh, I am into this. I like this. I like it." It was
Oh.
this song called 𝗵𝗡𝘆𝗀𝘆, and
Mm.
immediately I went and put it into a playlist titled Dora, and
Oh.
then I went to go put my notes down onto our,
Mhm.
notes sheet, and I was like, "Where's the song? Where is it?" And then I found her name, and it was 𝗵𝗡𝘆𝗀𝘆, and I'm like, "Oh, I see.
Mm.
This playlist had been made by someone where it was like a song by the artist, like a
Oh, yeah, yeah.
preview
Before
playlist
the
on
songs came out, probably,
what we
yeah.
could expect, and that song was so much better. It was like this really nice moody pop song,
Damn.
and
Oh, that's the worst.
oh, yeah, I was really bummed that this was the entry because I was excited to like get to what her actual entry was, and it just wasn't giving.
Damn. That's the worst. I despise Spotify for that. Because actually, I went on YouTube because the Spotify playlist like didn't have all the songs. I went on YouTube and I found a playlist and I thought it was all the Dora songs, but it was the same sort of thing. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like there were some really good songs. Um, then we had 𝗏𝗡𝘆𝗀𝗏𝗏 by Vatra. Okay, okay, to me, this could be a dark horse, but not in the sense that I like it. In the sense that I could see people liking it. I thought that it was well done. It sounds like shit I hear every year in Estonia, specifically from that fucking band Traffic. They be sending shit like this. And just that, but in Croatian. Like, to me, I thought it was well done. And I think it's like one of those things where, but I don't know, like I feel like I almost think people like this kind of shit more than they actually do because they don't actually tend to do well, but I always think
Mhm.
they're gonna do well.
Yeah. Yeah. So the note that I had written down for this song was, "I will break every acoustic guitar I see from here on out." I was getting really fed up by this point with acoustic
That
guitars
after Norway,
after Norway, and that yeah, it was I'd had just had enough. So yeah, this one was a no for me.
yeah, yeah. Well, then we had, oh girl, you know damn well this is evil. This is torture. Look at that name. Sretnia Stretni Dana Dace Bog by
I
Stephanie.
I don't think you were probably very far off with that one actually. That might have been and I don't know for sure, but that might have been the closest you've been the whole time on anything.
Call me Croatian. uh, by Stephanie Jujic. And like I thought this was cute, but yeah, like it doesn't it's okay, there's this thing where I always just think like you need to figure out what you're going for and like go into it 100%.
Mhm.
And these songs that just like lay in the middle where it's just like, okay, it's not like dancing enough. It's not like dramatic and ballady enough. It's just like a whatever song that's just like there. Like, okay, that's like cute for like a little single for yourself or like off your album, but like when you're considering entering a competition, competitive music, you need to go all into whatever it is that you're doing. This ain't competitive.
Yeah, this was very boring and really safe. And that's what you're saying too, where it's like it's not dancey enough, but it's not dramatic enough, but it's not slow enough. It's just trying to kind of please all the people at once. And when you do that, it's just you just it falls flat. And I had written down that it sounds like how my diet tastes. So I think you had You had kind of made a joke earlier about the food that I've been eating. So as people know, last week I didn't record. I was very, very sick. I actually ended up in the hospital, and
Mhm.
it was a problem with my stomach. And so right now I'm on a medicinal diet that is truly called the bland diet. And I'm eating like bread, bananas, rice, applesauce. That's the shit that I be eating lately, and it is truly bland. And that is what this song was to me. This song was the equivalent of my dinner tonight, which was white rice, unseasoned chicken, and a potato.
Oh.
So that was this song. Just there's something there, but it don't taste like nothing.
Yeah, no. I really wanna get into making potatoes, but, like, oh my god, they take so long to cook. Like, stupid long.
Microwave.
I know, but even in the microwave, girl, it's, like, stupid long.
Should be like 6 to 10 minutes in the microwave, depending
That's
on
a
how big.
long time.
Okay. That's
When I
long
put
a
something in the
microwave dinner takes.
bitch, like a 10-minute though, 10 minutes in the microwave, that's
That's how
long.
long it takes if you get one of those big Marie Callender turkey pot pies. They totally take 10 minutes in the microwave.
That's wild. Ain't none of my shit that I microwave takes that long. But yeah. Yeah, I had a really good potato. I just wanna say I wanna recreate it. It was like a carbonara potato when I was in
Mm.
Italy, and it was, like, low key the most it felt like the most American thing I ate there because it was like a potato with cheese and bacon well, not like bacon, but like, whatever they call it over there, bruschetta or whatever? Or is bruschetta the cheese?
Prosciutto.
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 Uh,
Prosciutto, bacon, cheese, and then there was egg in it, and it was just because it was a carbonara thing, and it was so fucking good. That was the best thing I ate in Italy.
there is a place in Poland, in Gdańsk. It is a restaurant that specializes in baked potatoes. It's
Mm.
called Bar pod Rybą, which is like the bar under the fish
Ooh.
bar. Oh my God, these potatoes are so good. This menu is crazy. I mean, they're like the biggest potato you've ever seen in your life, and they're
Mm.
just piled with stuff, and just all these
Ooh.
different combinations of stuff. It is one of the best
Ooh.
restaurants in Gdańsk. It's so good. If anyone's
Yeah.
planning a trip to Poland and you're going to Gdańsk, go to Bar pod Rybą. It is delicious.
Imma mark it on my maps. I'll go when I'm going there,
This
whenever.
podcast, I'm telling you, it's travel tips, it's historical facts, it's dietary information, it's everything. It's
Yes.
sassy. You can get the
Mhm.
whole lot here. You never know what you're going to get in a joint sleigh
Yes,
episode.
next episode, I'll share my recipe for mac and cheese. Oh, well, then wait, where was I? We were done with that one, right? Oh,
Eugen
yes. So,
Tisne.
yeah, Ticini by Eugen. Um, I thought this was really good quality, but it was very much that generic, like, almost made for Eurovision, "Oh, oh," like, ballad. Like,
Yeah.
just like, "Okay, cool." Like, it was very well done. Like, again, I think this one, like, it's like live could have more potential than what it's giving me just studio track because it's like the production is really good.
Yeah. Um I thought it was fine. It's just not a song that I would like personally want to choose to listen to.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
could if somebody told me that this was their winner and they thought that it was amazing, I
Mm.
would I mean, I accept whenever anyone tells me that something is their winner because taste is subjective. But I could see if somebody said that this was their favorite that like yeah, that would make sense because it was good. It's just not for me.
Yeah. Well, then we had Vodu PT Trizan BT by Mario Batiflaka featuring Robert Ferlin. I like this. I don't know why I like this. I don't know what it is about it. Like it's not something I'm gonna like stan, but I found it's not horrible. And I like the two guys together.
Yeah, I couldn't get into this one. I really didn't like the vocals. I didn't
Really.
like the way they sounded. Yeah, something about it just really wasn't hitting for me. It put me off actually a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
I liked it kind of. Like, I don't know why, it gave me, like, Albania. Like, shit I would hear from Albania, 2, like, older male singers and, like, that deep kind of voice. But, like, I don't know what it was. It was kinda, like, hitting.
Hmm.
I don't know why. Then we had Voljena Ženo by 𝗲𝗫𝗀. Okay, so he, of course, won Dora back in 2020, and, girl, he ain't winning this year. Not with this song. The fuck is
Mm-mm.
this? The fuck is this? This ain't rock ballad vibes. He ain't my vibe.
No. No. This is
No.
yeah, this one is a no. And I did not like his song last year either.
No.
So
How
I
he
think
won Dora in the first place, that song is horrible, like, girl,
yeah, I'm not a fan.
no. No, but you know what? We saved one of the best for last because last up. Okay, guys, do we not remember when we discussed the Dora artists? Roll the tapes back because I literally said, I said, I need somehow for that Rim Tim Taggy Dim baby lasagna to go to like because I was like, I need to hear their song. That sounds absurd. I need to hear it. Well, 𝗤𝗄 dropped out and they swooped in and we literally people were tagging me. They were like, "Girl, you got your wish. They're
Oh
in the
my god.
competition." Bitch, this is insane. This is so fucking good. Thank God 𝗤𝗄 dropped out because we needed this. How this didn't go through is beyond me because it's so good. It's catchy, it's edgy, it's got like a very, you know, kind of campy element that like grabs your attention, but it's actually got like thought-provoking elements to it. This I think might be the best. This might be the best option for Croatia.
I yeah, I think this one's iconic. Um, it's like the band Cake, but on crack and
Mm.
emo. So I don't for people who don't know the band Cake, they had a one really big hit called Short Skirt Long Jacket.
Mm.
And they're kind of a funny band because basically they're a band that never evolved. Like they had a style and they just stuck with it
Mhm.
forever. And some bands are like that, which it's fine. If that's what if that's what you like to make your music sound like the same and not because there's some bands every album sounds different. That's not Cake. Cake is very consistent. And their
Mhm.
sound is very specifically their vocalist is a very kind of like deadpan monotone almost like he's almost talking sort of
Mm.
type of vocals, which
Yeah.
this sort of had too. So the vocals really, really reminded me of Cake. And even the visuals reminded me of Cake because they had an album called Fashion Nugget and it's got like a little like pig drawing on it. And it was literally like the visuals of
Yeah.
their video. And so automatically I was thinking about Cake and I love Cake. They're a great band.
I love
Um,
cake too. Mm.
mm. um, but then it did have that kind of like emo edginess and they're talking about
Yeah.
anxiety and stuff like that and like going into the void or whatever the darkness um I will be honest, I actually did not love his vocals.
Hmm.
I just didn't like the sound of his vocals. Something about it was a little bit too I don't know, too it was too much of a rock vocal maybe for me.
Okay.
I would have liked it to be maybe a little bit more like restrained or
Interesting.
softer.
Yeah.
Um, but I thought the beat was totally sick. The rim tim taggy dim part is catchy as hell. And also the name baby lasagna, like that is hilarious. That
It's
is so
absurd.
funny. Like it's like they just opened up a dictionary and they pointed at words and we're like, okay, it's baby lasagna, but it works, god damn it.
It's like, you know, whenever you do those things that's like stripper names,
Yes.
what's your the last name of your first boyfriend's mom and the last thing you ate?
Yes.
And you came out with baby lasagna. Like, that's what it
Baby
is.
lasagna. It's an amazing, amazing stage name.
It is.
Um,
You know what? Actually, it kind of, even the sound. Do you remember We All Poop?
the
You don't remember that?
I know there's like a children's book called Everybody Poops.
No, from a few years ago, from Czech Republic. Actually, from 2020. It was from 2020. We All Poop. And their song was their song called We All Poop too? There it was like so good. It should have won. Like, and I loved whatever his name was, Benny Cristo, but it should have won. It was amazing. And it was this kind of emo rock vibe. And the name was absurd. And so you like everybody looked at that like the fuck? We all poop. And you're sitting there listening to it thinking it's gonna be a comedic, funny, stupid thing. And it was like actually really cool, good, like emo rock.
Oh
Like
my God.
you
Oh,
need to look them up
I'll
later
have to
because
check that out.
it was iconic. Still listen to their song. It's so well done.
Oh, wow.
And this reminds me of that, especially like when that's the thing. It's got the like but then it's like then a fade to black. Whoa, and it's like goes more rock to it. Like, and
Okay.
I don't know. I love the elements of this. I think it's so good. This or Babaroga for me are
Mhm.
my winners.
Mhm. Yeah, I think
Everything else is whatever.
yeah. I mean, a lot of good songs in there, a lot of whatevers in there, but a couple really, really good ones, and I feel like that makes a good selection to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, exactly. None of them where I'm like, absolutely hate it. Although part of me feels like as we went through this, maybe there are a few. But generally, it was really good. Definitely an improvement. And definitely like still don't know where these results will go.
Yeah, yeah,
But
it's kind of it's sort of an open field. Like there's some standouts, but I think we could have some surprises here. And I'm going to watch this as much as I can at least, or follow it as much as I can, depending on what else is happening on the other days. Whereas last year it was like I literally just didn't care. I was doing other stuff. Um, but yeah, so I think
yeah,
that's the last song in the list. So I
that
guess
is.
since you brought up everybody or we all poop, maybe our emoji, if you made it to the end, will be the little poo poo smile emoji.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my God. We've been forgetting to do the emojis, so we got to remember to do those. Um, so yes, poop emoji. And yeah, that is Croatia's songs. That is Norway's songs. That is ESC 250, girl. Whoa. That's a lot of songs.
That was a lot of songs, and I think so. Greg, the other half of the E Spot, he has been um, making a like master list of all of the songs that have been put in the selections. And let me see if I can find how many songs he said we currently have.
Oh God,
Um,
this is gonna be insane.
it's insane. So he's been doing this for a couple years, keeping track of all of the songs.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, because even just Croatia had 24. I mean, and if it's considering all those fucking Maltese songs, oh Lord. Oh Lord.
let's see. He said
These
right now we have 166 songs in our list, but he
mm,
still has the songs to add from Latvia and Luxembourg. So
oh,
that would mean that we're probably already getting close to
another 20
cracking
something, yeah.
200 songs. And we have a fraction of the songs that are going to be released.
Oh Lord.
We're
Oh
gonna, and
Lord.
it is kind of crazy because, like, when this is over, we will have listened to maybe 400, 500
Yeah.
songs just to get us into the like actual Eurovision phase where we have,
Yeah.
the 37 songs that we're gonna
This is
actually
like it is forcing me to actually listen to these selections that I would not normally. So I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah, there's probably some songs that, like, we would have missed otherwise. There might
Yeah.
still be some songs we end up missing because I have a feeling, especially as we get more like this, we're not going to be able to go through and actually do every single one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. This was a nice little I don't know how long this episode was, but it it was a nice long discussion, and I enjoy, like, being able to go in depth on these, when there's not, like, too much to like, it was 2 selections, and ESC
Mhm.
250s, that way we could actually go in depth on them. I like doing that, and guys, next week, the
Mhm.
much anticipated UMK UMK UMCO,
Ooh,
sorry,
go.
UMCO. Then next week is the much anticipated Finland UMCO UMK national selection. Songs will have already been being released by the time this episode
Mhm.
comes out, but as of us filming this, they start tomorrow. So, girl, next week's gonna be crazy. Next week's gonna be like a Finnish themed episode. So definitely, like, I'm excited about that. We're getting into the thick of it. Into the thick of
Yes.
it. Yes. And yeah, so anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, of course, make sure to like, comment, subscribe both to my channel and Renata's. Follow us both on our social platforms, mine at Maxxy Rainbow.
And I am everywhere at the 𝗫spot. Actually, boop, 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 boop. I am everywhere at 𝗫spot pod.
Not the
𝗫spot pod, 𝗫spot
links
pod,
will be
𝗫spot
in the
pod.
description
Yes,
below.
it's late, guys. It's like 11:30 here. It is
Yes.
bedtime for me.
Yes. And yeah, guys, my name is Maxxy Rainbow,
And I am Renata from the 𝗫spot.
and we will see you all next week. Goodbye.